Chapter 986, Rich Second Generation Yi Mo. Chapter 986, Rich Second Generation Yi Mo. The female cultivator didn't notice Yi Mo's expression and said to herself, "It's said that at the time, the manager of Yanghai Merchant Association requested city management to take the land back, but for some reason, the person responsible for this, Manager Wang, was in solitary cultivation. It's said he was breaking through to nascent soul state. Meanwhile, the Yanghai Merchant Association have always been domineering, so since the city management didn't do anything, they sent 2 nascent soul state cultivators up there themselves. 2 nascent soul state cultivators, and Li Yuqian wouldn't be able to stop them. Yi Mo had made up his mind that when he got back, he was going to concoct some nascent soul state cultivator pills no matter what, so Li Yuqian could reach hollow spirit state earlier. But Yi Mo wasn't too worried. After all, with the formation he set up, 2 nascent soul state cultivators were nowhere near enough. But what they didn't expect was that the disaster transformation state formation master was staying as a guest at Mo Yu, and when the disaster transformation state Qian Bei knew that they came to look for trouble, he destroyed their nascent souls on the spot and threw them out. Yi Mo could finally breathe easy now. He didn't know how that disaster transformation state Qian Bei was related to Mo Yu, but he felt it had something to do with the formation he set up. The youth also shook his head and said, when those people realized that there was a disaster transformation state Qian Bei supporting Mo Yu, the owner of Yanghai Merchant Association brought gifts to apologize instead of getting revenge. That black-clothed cultivator said, "Don't underestimate them, even Ao Cheng Merchant Association aren't as big as them. The disaster transformation state Qian Bei is from the South Peace State, he won't be staying in Peihai City forever. When the disaster transformation state Qian Bei leaves, Mo Yu will still face danger. Even if they aren't attack overtly, subtle means can still be used against them." Yi Mo heard this and agreed strongly. It was not plausible to rely on a disaster transformation state cultivator from South Peace State for support. By the way, Sister Tian, how can that disaster transformation state cultivator be related to Mo Yu? That youth asked something Yi Mo long wanted to know. The female cultivator shook her head. "That I don't know, but I'm sure that Manager Wang knows, and that's why he used the excuse to avoid seeing the Yanghai Merchant Association. I heard that every time the disaster transformation state Qian Bei came to Mo Yu, he would walk around Mo Yu." Yi Mo had understood by now that the disaster transformation state Qian Bei liked his formation means and wanted to discuss them with him, but he was in the deep sea and hadn't been back for months. Yi Mo was relieved that a disaster transformation state Qian Bei had protected Mo Yu, but he didn't think Mo Yu would attract the enmity of Yanghai Merchant Association in such a short time. It seemed they had fully utilized their business minds, but they thought of the world too naively. This wasn't Ninghai. If he was in Peihai, he would prefer to stay more low-key. Mo Yu can be built beautifully, but they shouldn't be pressuring others business-wise, at least not now. But Yi Mo was no timid person. Since he already offended others, he might as well eliminate the threat. If he couldn't kill the danger, then he would retreat. Yi Mo got what he wanted and had no intentions of staying longer. He got up and saluted with his fists. "Thanks for telling me the latest news of Peihai City." Before Yi Mo finished, the female cultivator said, "Little brother, you're not yet in the golden core state, you can't keep talking about the Ao Cheng Merchant Association in such a way. Otherwise, you won't even know how you will die." Yi Mo smiled and replied, "I know, thank you big sister. There's a big auction on the island tonight, if you brought back anything good you can sell it at the door there, you'll get a good price." The female cultivator reminded him again in goodwill. Yi Mo really didn't want to go to the auction. He had gained a lot, but Pei Chi Island wasn't a good place to sell it. He couldn't expose it yet. If someone knew he stole the spirit beast's ring, he would be finished. Yi Mo left the bar and showed his golden core state level 5 power again. It could save him a lot of trouble here. The once-a-year big auction of Pei Chi Island is being held tonight. All sorts of precious items. Only 2 low-grade spirit stones and you will know everything inside. A few Kai gathering cultivators raised their booklets promoting everywhere. "Are the things in the auction tonight really all in your booklet?" A golden core state grabbed a booklet and threw 2 spirit stones over while asking. The Kai gathering cultivator quickly said respectfully, "Qian Bei, more than 80% is in the booklet." Of course, There are some treasures at the end of the auction that we don't know. I know, the golden core state murmured and left. Give me one too. Yi-Mo threw 2 low-grade spirit stones over and took one. There wasn't much on it, but it was indeed not bad. There were even level 6 spirit herbs and top-grade spirit artifacts. Level 7 spirit beast defy beast core? Yi-Mo exclaimed. Level 7 beast core was so rare that you can't even buy it. Defy beasts were very rare too, and very fast. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to catch one at all. Even hollow spirit state cultivators wouldn't be able to get defy beast core. Defy beast core, another golden core state heard this and immediately said to the Kai gathering cultivator, "Give me a booklet too." When he got the booklet he repeated in surprise, defy beast core indeed, and a level 7 at that. Yi-Mo thought, the defy beast was hard to catch, but it was only a level 7 spirit beast, there was nothing special about it. Although Yi-Mo really wanted to go up and ask, he knew it would be too sudden and that person might not tell him. Yi-Mo wasn't interested in the auction originally, but because of the level 7 beast core, he decided to go. Thinking about this, Yi-Mo left rapidly and went to a secluded place to put on 9 transformations. This time, Yi-Mo changed into a pale-faced rich second-generation man. He dressed himself appropriately and held a spirit artifact fan. Although there were still a few hours before the auction began, Yi-Mo didn't want to go enter along with a lot of people. There was a foundation establishment state level 9 at the door, and seeing Yi-Mo's very fashionable and cocky look, he didn't dare to be disrespectful. "Qian-Bei, there are still a few hours before the auction starts. Do you really want to go in now?" that foundation establishment state cultivator asked carefully. Yi-Mo glared. "What, I can't." This foundation establishment state shivered at the unreasonable glare and thought, these rich second generations were too hard to deal with, which family let him out? "No, you can, of course you can." The foundation establishment state didn't even dare to look at Yi-Mo's face and quickly replied. He knew that if he offended someone like this, he would die really quickly. "Give me the most expensive room." Yi-Mo kept up his act. Yi-Mo thought it would be at least a golden core state reception. The most expensive room costs 100k top-grade spirit stones, the one lower. The foundation establishment state replied. He knew that the most expensive ones were just for show, rarely anyone went in. After all, 100k top-grade spirit stones were a huge fortune for a golden core state cultivator. Some golden core state cultivators only had about 1 or 2,000 top-grade spirit stones. Yi-Mo waved his hand, "No need for the one lower, I'll take that 100k one." Then, Yi-Mo threw him a bag with 100k top-grade spirit stones and said, "Don't waste time, take me to my room." The foundation establishment state was dazed for a second, then immediately reacted, okay, Qian-Bei, please follow me." Chapter 987, Real and Fake Rich Second Generation. Chapter 987, Real and Fake Rich Second Generation. That foundation establishment state cultivator brought Yi-Mo inside and took care of the procedures. Then, another extremely pretty woman took Yi-Mo to the most expensive room. After coming here, Yi-Mo realized why this room was so expensive. It wasn't in the best location but was very luxurious and had a high-level spirit gathering formation, as well as all sorts of spirit fruit. There were some scantily clothed female cultivators and a big pink bed. This room was the most expensive, but not the best. Clearly, this place was most suited to the persona Yi-Mo was currently displaying. Yi-Mo was afraid of being recognized, otherwise he wouldn't act so cold. He waved his hand at those pretty girls and said, "You can leave now, I don't need you here, don't disturb my rest." His tone was cold and emotionless. Those female cultivators felt unsatisfied but didn't dare to go up and talk. They bowed and left. After these girls left, Yi-Mo checked the situation in the room here. One could see the entire auction ground from here and there was a high-level spirit sense barrier formation. There was no surveillance formation here either. Clearly, this auction was rather transparent and clean. Yi-Mo had a lot of time to kill, so he sat down and started cultivating. "You said a youngster in his 20s looking very pale and unfamiliar." A nascent soul state tertiary stage cultivator furrowed his brows in an equally luxurious room, questioning the foundation establishment state cultivator. "Yes, It was as though 100k spirit stones was nothing to him and he took it out easily. He kicked the maids out as soon as he came in. The Foundation Establishment State replied respectfully. Should I send someone in to check? The nascent soul state waved his hand after some thought. No need, he's here for the auction. We've been holding auctions for many years. As long as he behaves, we don't need to do anything. If he does anything odd, there's even less need to investigate him. He'll just spend some spirit stones. Yes, the Foundation Establishment State quickly answered. A few hours passed and Yimo opened his eyes again, finding that most people were here. Yimo scanned with his spirit sense. Most of the people here were in the golden core state and some were nascent soul state, but he didn't see any Foundation Establishment State cultivators, meaning that the lowest requirement for this auction was probably golden core state. Another 15 minutes passed and when the entrance closed, another golden core state female cultivator with very little clothes walked up to the stage. The first item is a bottle of top-grade blue Wen pills. There are 6 pills in total. I don't need to explain the effect of the blue Wen pill, but I believe everyone knows better than me that the lowest price of the pill is 100k top-grade spirit stones and each increment must be no less than 5k. As soon as her voice sounded, the golden core state cultivators rustled. As long as one was golden core state, they needed the blue Wen pill 110k. People immediately started bidding 120k. 150k. Yimo finally understood why cultivators like to come to coastal cities. The cultivators here were too wealthy. The fortune they had compared to cultivators of other places wasn't on the same level. At the Nanshan market auction, people used middle-grade spirit stones, but here people were using top-grade spirit stones and adding in 10,000s. One top-grade blue Wen pill was sold for 300k. This wasn't a price that an ordinary golden core state could afford. The auctioneer was obviously happy that the first item was sold for this price. She looked at the excited atmosphere and said, "This is a top-grade spirit artifact rainbow silk dress. It's made with rainbow-winged spirit silkworm's silk. It not only has astounding defensive capabilities but can also perfectly outline a female cultivator's curves. The bottom price is 200k top-grade spirit stones. Each increment must be no less than 10k. Yimo didn't have a defensive spirit artifact and neither did Song Yangzhu nor Yi Ling. This rainbow silk dress was very pretty and seemed very light and soft. Yimo was interested at first glance. He had decided to buy it and either Song Yangzhu or Yi Ling could wear it. Thinking of silk, Yimo thought of Shadowless. It was still asleep but there was a thin layer of silk around it forming a cocoon. Yimo wondered if it could be made into an armor too. As Yimo thought for a moment, the rainbow silk dress's price had already rose to 360k. Yimo knew that too many female cultivators loved this and there was no way that it could be bought with a low price. Yimo said, 500k. This price made a lot of the people fall silent. This price wasn't low, and someone who could casually take out so much was no ordinary person. There was a brief moment of silence until another bleak voice said, 510k, I'm Ao Cheng Merchant Association's Ao Chilong. Friend, if you want to bid a higher price, then very well, I'll quit, hey. This was an obvious threat. Some other people who still wanted to bid gave up on the thought because of this. Ao Chilong was the young master of Ao Long Merchant Association. He was just 40 but was already golden core state level 9. Yimo suddenly felt that he was back at the Nanshan market and this Ao Chilong was Fate Zijiang. But now, Fate Zijiang was dead and that stone stool was in his golden page world. Now, there was another dimwit who tried to threaten him. He was a fake rich second generation, but he knew that Ao Chilong was a real rich second generation. His attitude was due to being given long-term respect by the people around him. He would naturally form a condescending attitude. The auctioneer was very unhappy with Ao Chilong's actions, but she couldn't do anything about it. Yimo suddenly thought, if one day Mo Yu grew big and he held an auction and someone made threats in his auction, what would he do? What else? Throw him out. If Mo Yu didn't have that power, then they shouldn't hold auctions. 510k once. Most people knew that there probably wasn't going to be another bid 510k twice. The auctioneer's voice woke Yimo up. Ao Chilong smiled, So what if that Arivist stayed in a high-level room? Anyone could go in there with enough spirit stones. But for rooms like his, you needed not only spirit stones but also status. Thinking about this, he patted the female cultivator next to him and said, "If I say those clothes are yours, then they're yours, no one can take them." That pretty female cultivator next to him called like a cat and squirmed into his arms, clearly very happy about the clothes she was about to get. But Yimo just called out, 520k. Everyone glanced awe through their spirit sense at Yimo's room, despite them being unable to send their spirit sense inside. Everyone wanted to know who this bold guy was who dared to slap Ao Chilong's face like that. Ao Chilong heard this and his face went green. He got up immediately. Chapter 988, Madman Pill Recipe. Chapter 988, Madman Pill Recipe. Ao Chilong didn't think this Arivist really dared to bid against and slapped his face by adding an extra 10k spirit stones. "Very well, I keep to my words. The rainbow silk dress is yours. I hope you can hold it long enough to make it warm." Ao Chilong's face was bleak. No one dared to be this rude to him. Even nascent soul state cultivators wouldn't show bad attitudes when they saw him. Everyone else also thought that this Arivist had balls. Some even guessed that Yimo had a large backing and was probably the young master of another big power, or he had conflicts with Ao Chilong already. That's why he added 10k. Otherwise, he could have added 50k or more. Although that would still offend Ao Chilong, it wouldn't offend him as much. Now, no one wanted to add more spirit stones. They all knew that Ao Chilong would rob the item back in the end. 520k spirit stones 1, 520k spirit stones twice. The auctioneer seemed to want to insult Ao Chilong and dragged her voice on 520k third time. The female cultivator slammed the hammer. "Deal, congratulations, friend from the 11th room." Yimo sneered. This made Ao Chilong even angrier, but this female cultivator didn't have any good intentions either. He didn't care, he already offended Ao Chilong, so it didn't matter how badly Ao Chilong hated him. The rainbow silk dress was sent to Yimo's room. Yimo opened it and saw it was indeed made very exquisitely and emitted a soft kai. He was sure that if one wore this, it was not only very beautiful but comfortable as well. Yimo was very happy that he could get this for 520k spirit stones. The only ones unhappy were Ao Chilong and the beautiful woman in his arms. The auctioneer took out the third item. She showed it off and said, "This is a level 4 formation disc, it can attack or defend. The starting bid is 100k top-grade spirit stones." Yimo had lost interest in what she had to say, but Yimo didn't expect that a level 4 formation disc would have a 100k starting price. Yimo knew that if he had the materials now, it was no problem for him to make level 4 formation discs. His formation skills had reached level 5. It seemed that both pill concoction and formations were lucrative businesses. If he went to learn forgery sometime, then he would be a master of all the cultivation realm crafts. Yimo shook his head. Any of the arts, whether it was formation, pill concoction, forgery, or rune making, was each enough for a cultivator to study for their entire life, yet he wanted to learn all of them. After the formation disc was bought for 160k spirit stones, the following items were either pills or spirit artifacts. There were a few spirit herbs that were useful to Yimo, but he didn't buy them. After all, he had too many spirit herbs in his storage ring. He didn't need to buy everything he saw. Half a day passed quickly and Yimo didn't buy anything else. He wanted to buy the level 7 defy beast core. He felt that this beast core would benefit him, but he didn't know exactly how. Just as he was thinking about this, that female cultivator said, "The next item is definitely explosive. Many friends have already guessed it, that's right, the level 7 defy beast core." As expected, the cultivators down below burst into pandemonium. Many people didn't even know what the defy beast was or knew what it was for. After the noise, the auctioneer said, "Many people just think this is just a level 7 beast core, but if you think like that you're wrong. The difference between other beast cores is that the defy beast core can increase your chances of reaching nascent soul state. If you spirit refine the beast core, you will have above a 60% chance of reaching nascent soul state." Seeing that someone was about to talk, she pressed her hands together and said, "Friends, don't be hasty. I know you want to say that if you just spirit refine the beast core directly, you would explode even if it was a level 5 beast core, right? That's true for other beast cores, but the defy beast is an exception. Instead of calling it a beast core, the defy beast core is more like a spirit item. Of course it's not a spirit fruit, but it's the only beast core that can be spirit refined by a cultivator. It contains astounding amounts of spirit power, but it's not volatile. It's very calm and doesn't contain any negative emotions. If you get the defy beast core and spirit refine it with mist flower, then you'll have an even greater chance of reaching nascent soul state because the beast core can neutralize the explosive power of the mist flower. So this beast core is like a cow horn pill but better. Rumble *, the crowd burst into excitement. No one expected that the auction would have something similar to a cow horn pill. Although a level 7 beast core was something that a nascent soul state used to reach hollow spirit state, even nascent soul state cultivators wouldn't be able to spirit refine other beast cores. Yimo's head also rumbled. He finally understood what the Heaven Glory pill was missing. It was the level 7 defy beast core. If this woman didn't explain it, he would never think that the beast core of defy had large amounts of neutral spirit energy. His Heaven Glory pill needed something with large amounts of spirit power. Plus, if the beast core could neutralize the volatility of the mist flower, then it could also neutralize the volatile power of the other herbs in Heaven Glory pill. Yimo smiled bitterly. If he didn't know what the fifth ingredient was, it was fine, but after learning it, he realized how absurd his trial before was. He was thinking that if he could find the fifth ingredient, he could concoct large amounts for everyone around him, but now he knew that was impossible. This beast core was very rare. Plus, the pill itself was absurd. Which madman thought of using such an extravagant way of concocting pills for golden core state cultivators? If a level 7 beast core couldn't let a golden core state cultivator increase one level, then this level 7 core didn't deserve to be level 7. The reason this guy was crazy was that even one whole bottle of Heaven Glory pill might not be worth a defy beast core. But Yimo was also crazy like this. He wouldn't care if it was a level 7 beast core or not. If it was useful for his cultivation now, then he would be willing to get it no matter the cost. The auctioneer waited for the crowd to calm down before saying, "The starting bid is 1.5 million top-grade spirit stones. Each increment must be no less than 50k, you can start bidding now." Everyone knew it wasn't going to be cheap, but 1.5 million top-grade spirit stones as a starting bid was too insane. The scene fell silent. But the auctioneer wasn't worried at all. She stood on the stage waiting for bids. She knew there would be people who could afford it. Chapter 989. What is an imbecile? Chapter 989. What is an imbecile? 1.6 million. The auctioneer didn't wait for long and some cultivator already made a bid. Soon, more people started to bid. 1.7 million. 1.8 million. 2 million. Mine. Some even stood up while making bids and raised their fist. However, this defy beast core was worth much more than this price. Soon, when Yimo wanted to bid, it was already 2.15 million. After this price, no one made bids anymore. A golden core state peak stage stood up in excitement and said shakily, "No one else is bidding, call time." Everyone could understand how the golden core state peak stage was feeling, and so could Yimo, but he was still going to make a bid. He had to buy it. This core decided if he could reach nascent soul state. Yimo was really sick of using spirit crystals to concoct the Heaven Glory pill. That pain wasn't something ordinary people could endure. Plus, he didn't even know if there were side effects with the pills made with spirit crystals. The female cultivator smiled and just wanted to speak when someone else made a bid. 2 million, another voice said before Yimo could bid. The golden core state peak stage slunk down after hearing this price. Clearly, this was the highest price he could afford. Yimo heard this voice and sneered. It was that Ao Chilong again. This guy wanted what he had his eyes on every time. How angry would this guy be once he took the defy beast core from him? 2 million first time. Seeing Ao Chilong make a bid, the auctioneer wasn't happy but could only start calling. Before she could call twice, Yimo bid 2.5 million. The competition was intense before, but rarely did anyone add 300k spirit stones each time. Yi Mo's bid immediately caught the attention of everyone. When they saw it was the same guy, they had looks of understanding. That Ariviste in the luxurious room clearly had some great conflicts with Ao Chilong, otherwise he wouldn't be fighting with him for every bid. Ao Chilong was furious hearing that it was Yi Mo bidding. He knew that he wasn't going to let this guy go after the auction, but he was now outbid publicly again. He was extremely unhappy. 6 million. Ao Chilong added 100k without hesitation. Even if he gave the auction holders more spirit stones, he didn't want to be outbid by Yi Mo twice. The young master of the Ao Cheng Merchant Association was outbid by an Ariviste. He couldn't lose that face. 3 million, Yi Mo said calmly. He didn't consider Ao Chilong a threat at all. The level 7 beast core was worth at most 2 million spirit stones. Even if the Dihua beast core was more valuable, it wouldn't be worth over 3 million. After all, these beast cores were only effective for the golden core state and nascent soul state. 1 million. Ao Chilong cursed. How dare this insolent brat dare to compete with him? Did he not know he was the young master of the Ao Cheng Merchant Association? He couldn't lose face for that name. 5 million, Yi Mo said. He picked up tens of millions of top-grade spirit stones for free. It didn't hurt him at all. Everyone took a deep breath. This Ariviste was so wealthy. 5 million top-grade spirit stones had far exceeded the value of the Dihua beast core already. Even ordinary nascent soul state cultivators wouldn't have this much wealth. Just when Ao Chilong wanted to increase the bid, a manager-like person next to him whispered, "We only brought 5 million spirit stones along and you've already spent 2 million on the things you bought before. We don't have more spirit stones." Ao Chilong heard this and almost spat blood. Since when was he, young master Ao, insulted like this, and that too in front of the pretty girl he just got? He really wanted to bid more, but he didn't have enough spirit stones. Okay, you have balls, Ao Chilong said coldly to Yi Mo. Yi Mo sneered. He was never afraid of threats and replied coldly, "Ao, you have balls too, how dare you bid against me? If you don't have money then don't like you do. Cheap shit." The scene fell silent. Even the auctioneer didn't understand. Ao Chilong was threatening Yi Mo but he didn't name names. But now, this Ariviste not only won the bid but also named Ao Chilong and cursed him. He sounded like a hippie on the streets. The insults had no technique at all. */slam**. Ao Chilong pulverized the tea table in front of him. Everyone in the auction place could hear it clearly. Yi Mo said calmly, "You're an imbecile indeed. You don't have money to buy things so you vent your anger on the property of the auctioneer. But luckily your dad has enough money for compensations." "What's an imbecile?" a voice suddenly asked, clearly not liking Ao Chilong too. "No matter who you are, if I don't repay you dearly I'm not a human," Ao Chilong gritted his teeth and said. Yi Mo replied to the cultivator who asked the question, "See now, this is an imbecile." Everyone heard this and burst into laughter. Yi Mo sneered. He wasn't someone without a brain. He wasn't going to fight with Ao Chilong by swearing at him. But since Ao Chilong wanted to attack him, he was going to stand up for himself. The more he angered Ao Chilong, the more Ao Chilong would want to kill him personally. This way, he wouldn't think of getting help. If he left Pei Chi Island and Ao Chilong chased him by himself, he wouldn't mind killing this guy. He'd been annoyed at Ao Cheng Merchant Association for a long time. Killing one of them was still one dead. If this guy calmed down and found a nascent soul state cultivator, then it would become quite difficult for Yi Mo. Yi Mo was not interested in the next items, so he left the auction scene after getting the Dihua core. He knew that with Ao Cheng Merchant Association's influence here, Ao Chilong would be able to know when he left. So Yi Mo never intended to hide it from Ao Chilong, he left openly. As soon as Yi Mo left, Ao Chilong took a golden core state peak stage and the golden core state level 2 female cultivator and followed him out. Clearly, Yi Mo thought too much. Ao Chilong never intended to ask a nascent soul state cultivator to come for a mere golden core state level 5 like Yi Mo. If it wasn't that the manager kept following him, he wanted to kill Yi Mo himself instantly. But what Yimo didn't expect was that another Golden Core State Peak stage left the auction and followed Yimo and Ao Chilong. Yimo sneered, that Golden Core State Peak stage clearly wanted the Dihua core. He probably also wanted things from Ao Chilong. But the Golden Core State Peak stage stealth cultivation method was good, even Ao Chilong's Golden Core State Peak stage manager didn't notice him. Yimo's spirit sense was very strong and he had been very experienced in stealth cultivation methods. Playing stealth in front of him was like teaching physics in front of Albert Einstein. The Golden Core State Peak stage probably also planned to kill Ao Chilong after he killed him. That way, Ao Chilong's disappearance would be blamed on him. But if that was the guy's plan, then Yimo had planned a little surprise for him. Chapter 990, Injured Twice. Chapter 990, Injured Twice. Thinking about this, Yimo didn't choose to fly towards Peihai City and instead flew to Two Horn Island. Yimo had gone through here once. He knew that in another few thousand kilometers, there would be a small island. Although that wasn't Two Horn Island, it was enough for Yimo to kill people. Yimo didn't take much time to get there on his flying ship. After Yimo landed on the island, he started laying down formations. If Ao Chilong knew that his trap formation was for him, he would be even more furious. The reason Yimo decided to set up a trap formation and not an attack formation was that there was another Golden Core State Peak stage as well. Yimo wasn't concerned with the first three, he was confident that he could kill all of them without any formation. But Yimo felt threatened by that Golden Core State Peak stage behind them. His stealth cultivation method was much stronger than the other three and he seemed very powerful. His Kai was even similar to Dong Tianya. Dong Tianya was ranked 4th in the South Peace State Golden Core State Hall of Fame. Even Yimo now might not be able to win against Dong Tianya. Thus, one could see how strong that Golden Core State Peak stage behind them was. This guy was the reason Yimo set up the trap formation. He didn't want this guy to run, so he had to set up a trap formation. Although in such little time he could only set up a level 3 formation, that was enough. Despite Yimo's formation skills being far better than before, as soon as he finished the formation base, Ao Chilong and his 2 people were here. Seeing Yimo standing on the island and not running, Ao Chilong sneered, "Keep running, weren't you really cocky in the auction? Why aren't you cocky now?" Yimo smiled, "Young Master Ao, which eye did you see me running with? With which eye did you see me not being cocky?" Ao Chilong was at a loss for words. This arriviste was very calm and didn't seem to want to run at all. "Very well, you have balls indeed." Ao Chilong was so angry he laughed. He turned back to his manager and said, "Tong Zhong, debilitate him, don't kill him yet." That manager was obedient and released a huge octagonal mace without hesitation. He didn't have any scruples about killing Yimo. If Yimo wasn't just an arriviste, he would go to the high class room that also required status, not just money. The mace released was very strange, it didn't have a handle. It seemed like an octagonal ball. But once it was released, it immediately turned into a metal mountain that loomed over Yimo. Yimo approved of this cultivator's attack. This mace made the air around Yimo stiff, making people feel they were in a canopy, but Yimo didn't even need to struggle against this. He just used his cultivation essence and that feeling disappeared without a trace. This binding was too weak. Even an ordinary Golden Core State tertiary stage would be able to break free. Thud. Yimo was smashed a few hundred meters away into a huge rock. He immediately spat a mouth of blood and seemed to be immobilized. Yimo was speechless. He was fighting someone and he had to force himself to spit blood. This was unbearable. But Yimo knew that if he took the upper hand, that cunning fox would get ready to retreat even if he didn't retreat himself. With someone that powerful, if he decided to retreat, even Yimo wouldn't be able to stop him with a trap formation. If someone escaped here, even if he wore the 9 transformations, he would leave behind some clues. Yimo wasn't going to take this risk. Plus, he knew he couldn't kill Ao Chilong personally. Ao Chilong's support was at least a hollow spirit state cultivator. The difference between the hollow spirit state and nascent soul state was too huge. Yimo didn't believe at all that there was no spirit sense tracing on Ao Chilong. If his conjecture was right, anyone who killed Ao Chilong would have his information sent back. So, Yimo couldn't kill Ao Chilong and had to wait for that man lurking behind them to kill Ao Chilong instead. In that case, he couldn't act too tough. Ha ha ha, I thought you were strong, but this is all you've got. Keep bidding, perhaps if you call out a higher bid I can let you go. Idiot, you're just an arriviste and you dare to act cocky on Peichi Island. Ao Chilong walked up to Yimo and sneered, don't worry, I won't kill you now. I will take you back to serve you properly. In Ao Chilong's eyes Yimo was an idiot waiting for torture. Yimo shook his head. This Ao Chilong was really like an idiot as he said. He had zero fighting experience. Even if he didn't die here today, he would eventually be killed. Why didn't he think that if Yimo truly had so little power, how would he dare to bring them here to get himself killed? Brother Long, why not kill him now and take his ring? Let's see how many spirit stones this arriviste has. That golden core state level 2 beautiful woman said softly as she walked over and held Ao Chilong's arm. The greed was almost dripping out of her eyes as she stared at Yimo's ring. Wait. That golden core state peak stage seemed to notice something wrong. Yimo was so cocky, this shouldn't be all he had. But he had just called out when he saw Yimo suddenly get up and throw out a big stamp. It immediately turned into the size of a small mountain and smashed towards Ao Chilong. The golden core state peak stage was shaken and wanted to help, but he wasn't going to make it in time. But Ao Chilong only sneered, stupid little trick. At the same time, he released a silver broadsword that immediately turned into a 3-meter wide silver light. The silver light struck the stamp first and this stamp was hacked away thousands of meters away before falling on the ground and dimming. Yimo was sent flying hundreds of meters away, crashing into the rocks of the island before spitting out more blood. Yimo was angry. That golden core state peak stage hiding in the back saw that he had lost too quickly and instead didn't dare to come out. Helpless, Yimo could only ambush Ao Chilong. He only showed the ordinary strength of a golden core state level 5 in that attack. He believed that the lurking cultivator wouldn't be able to tell. If he still didn't fall for it, then Yimo had decided to use all his power. It wasn't certain that he would be able to keep them all. This is your confidence. A mere golden core state level 5 dares to ambush me, Ao Chilong said in contempt. Perhaps you finally know the difference between golden core state level 9 and golden core state middle stage. What a pity, it's useless to know it now. Yimo was completely speechless. Before his ambush, he intentionally let out his cultivation essence and attacked once Ao Chilong had a reaction. But now this guy was shamelessly talking about the difference between golden core state level 5 and level 9. Tong Zhong breathed easy but he immediately became vigilant and turned around. At this moment a sigh sounded in their ears. The three realized another person had come onto this island. Yimo felt assured hearing this. The last guy finally came. Otherwise, he didn't know how long he would have to keep up the act. Now these guys can bite each other. Yimo knew that the reason that the golden core state peak stage believed his act was not because he was smart, but because the guy didn't consider his power a threat. It's indeed an arriviste, and a golden core state level 5 at that. You really dream too big. You came to this island and set up a trap formation wanting to use it to kill 2 golden core state level 9 cultivators. Pity, you didn't have time to finish it. The golden core state peak stage walked over as though there was no one here. Then, he looked at Yimo. I knew the first time you got injured was an act. But with your power, you can't even pretend anything. You want to rely on your trap formation, right? You think you can trap them even if you set it up? Keep dreaming. Chapter 991, Terrifying Mo Qianli. Chapter 991, Terrifying Mo Qianli. Yimo bit his lips and didn't say anything. Meanwhile, he was thinking about how powerful this golden core state peak stage was. He could tell that he was acting the first time, but what about the second time? As for this guy seeing his trap formation, he didn't care at all. Even Tong Zhong saw it. To them, this formation was worth nothing. But only Yimo knew the power of this trap formation. It was just a level 3 trap formation base, but Yimo believed that once he completed the formation, even golden core state peak stage cultivators wouldn't be able to get away. That golden core state peak stage looked at Yimo and said, Seeing how you're quite wealthy, I'll let your opponents die first. Yi Mo felt his words were dodgy but couldn't tell exactly what was wrong with them. Ao Chilong was instead feeling concerned seeing that this guy arrived on the island without them noticing. But he was about to lash out seeing how nonchalant this guy was. However, Tong Zhong got in front of him and said, "Friend, this Ariviste has some conflict with us. This has nothing to do with you. Are you going to get involved too? Our Ao Cheng Merchant Association isn't something that people can abuse." The Golden Core State Peak Stage suddenly sneered, "You don't need to hang Ao Cheng Merchant Association on your mouth. It's not bad, but I don't consider it a threat. Even if the Heavenly Monarch wants to take my shit, I will fight for it. So this means you want to fight with us, friend?" Tong Zhong grabbed the octagonal mace and said. The Golden Core State Peak Stage looked at that mace in contempt and said, "That ragged ball is enough for a Golden Core State level 5, but not enough for me. So shameless, you're only a Golden Core State cultivator too, yet you think you're nascent soul state. Brother Long, kill this cocky bastard," the female cultivator said in contempt. Only Yi Mo knew that this Golden Core State Peak Stage delayed the time of her getting his ring, that's why she was unhappy with him. The amicable Golden Core State Peak Stage's face suddenly went cold and he flung his hand behind him. That female cultivator didn't even see what it was and her body sprayed out blood mist. She looked at that Golden Core State Peak Stage in disbelief and wanted to say something but she was unable to and just died. A Golden Core State Level 2 was instant killed. Even Yi Mo was shaken. He had tried to estimate this Golden Core State Peak Stage strength, but he was even stronger than he had imagined. Yi Mo saw clearly that the strike was a long, thin black line. It seemed to be alive and very fast, instantly piercing the woman's dantian. What shook Yi Mo was that the string looked very thin but immediately released power enough to blast her chest apart. Yi Mo was unnerved. If that man had ambushed him first, he didn't know if he could have dodged it. "How dare you kill Fei Fei? I'm going to kill you." Ao Chilong was furious and was about to attack with his broad silver sword. But Tong Zhong stopped him. "Wait, young master." Ao Chilong calmed down after this. His eyes grew cold and that broad sword circulated above his head as though he would kill someone at any time. "Friend, you're strong. We'll leave now," Tong Zhong said. The Golden Core State chuckled. "You want to go? You've probably recognized me, right? Since you have, do you think I will let you go?" Yi Mo was shaken upon hearing these words. He looked at the Golden Core State Peak Stage. His face was very ordinary, one that people would never remember again. Clearly, this man also wore a mask, but it was a much higher level than his. This guy's mask was a magic artifact that made people unable to remember the face. Yi Mo was sure that the reason Tong Zhong recognized this man was due to that string. Tong Zhong's face went pale but he still saluted with his fists. "Yes, I recognized you, friend. North Far State Golden Core State Hall of Fame number 3. Ao Chilong was shaken. "Your North Far State Golden Core State Hall of Fame number 3, Mo Qianli?" Then, Ao Chilong's face also went pale. There were 2 of them, but they were far from enough for Mo Qianli. They didn't expect he would appear here. Mo Qianli's name wasn't Mo Qianli originally. His surname was Mo and he was very cruel. He never left anyone alive. Thus, everyone called him Mo Qianli, meaning that they must not get within 1,000 kilometers of this guy if they were fighting him. Otherwise, if they got close they would die for sure. Pretty much everyone who had encountered him was already dead. That's why no one knew what he looked like. He was the only one to not go to Golden Core State Hall of Fame but still appear on the rankings. Some even said he had killed nascent Soul State primary stage cultivators, but no one knew for sure. This ranking of 3rd was given decades ago. Perhaps he could even be Golden Core State Hall of Fame number 1 now. Attack. Tong Zhong was decisive. He knew that Mo Qianli wasn't going to let them go no matter what. Ao Chilong also released his huge broad sword and threw a rune out. He could only activate this level 6 rune in this short time. It couldn't do anything to Mo Qianli but was enough to delay him. Tong Zhong's mace suppressed space again and howled towards Mo Qianli. A black bead also appeared in his hand. This was red lightning. Seeing Mo Qianli sneer, Yi Mo immediately knew that even if the 2 used all their means, they were no match for Mo Qianli. He didn't expect Mo Qianli to be this strong. Yi Mo couldn't care about Shadowless slumber anymore. He used a light spirit sense pike on Shadowless to wake him up. He needed this guy, but this guy was sleeping in Golden Page World. Shadowless was woken up by the spirit sense pike, and when he knew of Yi Mo's will, he crawled out unhappily. He raised his feet at Yi Mo but eventually succumbed to Yi Mo's will and went out. Yi Mo found that the gold dot already covered more than half of Shadowless' back. Yi Mo was quite expectant to see how powerful Shadowless was now. Yi Mo looked at the three fighting. Ao Chilong's chest was bleeding and looked at Mo Qianli in satisfaction. Clearly, he didn't have long to live. That cool-looking sword was on the side. Tong Zhong was covered in blood, his mace was surrounded by countless black strings and couldn't move. The red lightning he threw out was also surrounded by countless black lines and couldn't even activate. More and more black strings appeared while Mo Qianli only had a few holes on his clothes. His demeanor was very calm, clearly, he didn't doubt at all that he could kill the two. Tong Zhong's face was pale, bead-sized sweat rolled down it. Yi Mo also noticed that there was a black string floating in front of him that was moving slowly towards his dantian. Tong Zhong knew that he would be dead for sure if the black string neared his dantian, but he couldn't stop it at all. He used all his cultivation essence and could only slow the black string. Yi Mo was shocked. It seemed that Mo Qianli could control far more than just one black string. But Yi Mo also was decisive. If he had to ambush, it was now. Otherwise, when Mo Qianli finished dealing with Tong Zhong, he wouldn't be well off either. Chapter 992. Already made a move. Chapter 992. Already made a move. The moment he decided to attack, he released Zishu and used Purple Eye Soul Sever to the maximum. He didn't even care about the damage he did to himself. He used the Illusion Cloud Whirlpool Strike with the Purple Eye Soul Sever. This was the most powerful and cruel attack Yi Mo could use. It was cruel to both the enemy and himself. His Purple Eye Soul Sever when used at full power did quite some damage to himself as well. With his Golden Core State Level 5 Cultivation Essence, the Illusion Cloud Whirlpool Strike was so much more powerful than before. The Whirlpool Purple Sword Rays were dense and even formed a tangible purple whirlpool, completely surrounding Mo Qianli. Thousands of meters of distance passed under Yi Mo's feet rapidly. When the purple sword rays had surrounded Mo Qianli, Yi Mo was already there. But when Yi Mo saw the sneer on Mo Qianli's face, his heart went cold. He had a bad feeling. He finally realized where that feeling came from. In his subconscious, he thought that Mo Qianli was underestimating him. But in fact, Mo Qianli saw through that he was faking the injury both the first time and second time. The reason he said, "Seeing as how you're wealthy, I'll let your opponent die first." This was just to make Yi Mo think that he lowered his vigilance against Yi Mo. But when he was fighting Tong Zhong and Ao Chilong, he was actually constantly wary of his ambush. The reason Mo Qianli said that he had seen through his trap formation was to make him less cautious, and he fell for it. It could be said that as soon as the two met each other, Mo Qianli was targeting Yi Mo with his attacks while he was still oblivious and trying to scheme against Mo Qianli. He fell for it indeed and chose to ambush Mo Qianli at this moment. Mo Qianli could have killed Tong Zhong way earlier, but he was waiting for him to attack. Understanding this, Yi Mo forcibly stopped himself and wanted to pull back Zishu. Yi Mo knew that his whirlpool strike wasn't enough to kill someone as powerful as Mo Qianli, so he might as well take it back for defense. As soon as Yi Mo wanted to pull back Zishu, he felt the countless black strings joined together forming a thumb-sized strand. Before Yi Mo could react, it was already at his chest. There was some horror in his dantian. He had the strong feeling of being suppressed. Yi Mo could see clearly that the spear-like black strings were the ones surrounding the mace, but under Mo Qianli's control, they instantly attacked him. Yi Mo didn't even have time to use Zishu to block. He had seen countless Golden Core State Masters but never someone as fast as Mo Qianli. He might not even be able to stop this speed head-on, much less when being ambushed. But this guy was careful to the extreme. Ordinary cultivators would have long given up already, but Yi Mo spat out essence blood and used Purple Eye Soul Sever to the best of his ability. Even if he was going to die, he was going to bite this bastard. The moment that the black string was about to pierce into Yimo's chest, the pressure paused and so did the string. Yimo wasn't going to waste this opportunity. Zishu was already released and was in front of his chest. Yimo knew that the moment of pause wasn't that Mo Qianli wanted to have mercy on him but due to his soul pike. If it wasn't for that, he would have been gone already. Before Yimo could even sweat, he had already used illusion cloud exert will strike to the best of his capability. Ugh! Mo Qianli gasped, clearly suffering from the attack. A trickle of blood came out of his mouth but he maintained his sneer. You didn't disappoint me indeed, this is a spirit sense attack. I'm using 40% of my focus to deal with the two idiots from Ao Cheng Merchant Association and spending 60% of my attention on you, but you could still manage to injure me. Even so, you're still going to die. Suddenly, the thick black strand turned into countless fine black strands and surrounded Yimo Tongsheng, who barely survived because of Yimo looked on dazedly at Yimo and Mo Qianli. When Mo Qianli was fighting them, he wasn't using his full power at all. This was his full power now, the heaven-covering black strings. Tongzhong was shaking from just looking at the sight. What shook him more was that the Golden Core State Level 5 had been acting weak. He realized now that the reason he acted like he had gotten injured was not to fight them but for Mo Qianli. Clearly, the trap formation this Golden Core State Level 5 set up was not for them but for Mo Qianli. From the start to the end, the two weren't targeting them but each other. Tongzhong's heart sunk. Such a terrifying Golden Core State middle stage. Tongzhong knew Yimo wasn't going to live through this, but he had never even heard of a Golden Core State Level 5 cultivator that was this strong. What a joke it was that he and the young master had thought this was an Ari Vist. Ari Chilong, who only had one breath in him, also looked at Yimo in a daze. He knew that Yimo was going to die under this move for sure, but if Mo Qianli wasn't here, this insect of a Golden Core State Level 5 to him would have long finished them off. The outside world is dangerous, don't go out easily until you reach nascent soul state. Ao Chilong finally understood what his father had meant when he said this. Clearly, his power was nothing in North Far State. Other people respected him because of the Ao Cheng Merchant Association, not his own power. Even Mo Qianli felt Yimo was about to be killed. He breathed easier but also thought that this Golden Core State Level 5 was the strongest he had ever encountered. If he wasn't careful and schemed for everything ahead, he might not have such an advantage. Now that he was surrounded by the evil soul strands, not even a nascent soul state cultivator would be able to escape. But before Mo Qianli killed Yimo, he wouldn't underestimate Yimo at all. He kept trying to pierce Yimo with the black strands. He had already ignored Tongzhong and Ao Chilong. The only person who didn't think he would die was Yimo himself. He had calmed down now. He knew that he must not be pierced by these strands or he would be finished. The illusion cloud exert will strike activated countless sword rays that joined together like a sword ray formation, blocking every little strand accurately. At first, Mo Qianli didn't care, but when he saw that his strands kept on getting wasted, his face finally changed. He split one strand that pierced Tongzhong and Ao Chilong's head. Then, he used the remaining ones to attack Yimo. The strands grew in number and speed. He wanted to kill Yimo as fast as possible. Chapter 993, Illusion Cloud 5th Strike. Chapter 993, Illusion Cloud 5th Strike. When he took Ao Chilong's head, a beam of light darted into Mo Qianli's body. Mo Qianli saw it but he didn't care at all. Clearly, this wasn't the first time he had dealt with this. Illusion Cloud exert will strike, it was forming a communication with each sword ray through his will, but as the strands grew more and more, Yimo also began to struggle. He didn't even have time to eat a spirit recovery pill. He was soaked in sweat and blood seeped out of his mouth, his face was very pale. Clearly, his spirit sense was already injured. At last, Yimo just closed his eyes. He couldn't care about finishing the trap formation to trap Mo Qianli. This Mo Qianli was too strong, he had to think about how to escape the endless strands. Yimo seemed to have the same feeling as when he fought Ji Jiyuan. He had to rely on his senses to feel the black strands and destroy them. As time went on, more and more blood seeped out of Yimo's mouth but he still closed his eyes to feel the black strands piercing over. Yimo wasn't the only one struggling, Mo Qianli's face was also pale. He didn't expect someone would be able to survive this long after being trapped by his black strands. Was this golden core state level 5 a monster? Mo Qianli couldn't stop now as well. He had to kill Yi Mo as the evil soul strands were taxing on the spirit sense as well. He would be hurt greatly if he forcibly stopped them before killing someone. It seemed like he had the upper hand, but it was actually a stalemate. If he could hold on till the end, Yi Mo would lose. If he couldn't, then the soul strands being destroyed would heavily injure him and make his cultivation level drop. What shook Missouri Qianli was that he had so many evil soul strands, but none of them could hurt Yi Mo at all. No matter how fast they were, Yi Mo could always find it and destroy them. In the beginning, his evil soul strands were very close to Yi Mo, but now they were being pushed away. Only when he killed the other two and focused all his efforts on Yi Mo did the strands push towards Yi Mo again. The reason he was undefeated was that those who were pierced by his evil soul strands would die for sure. No one could escape. As time went on, Mo Qianli began to get scared. If this continued, he would lose for sure, because Yi Mo was starting to push the evil soul strands back again. He even started to regret getting involved in this matter. Little did he know that there was Shadowless under his feet. It wasn't that Yi Mo had forgotten about Shadowless, but Yi Mo couldn't spare the energy to hint to Shadowless to attack. Shadowless was strong, but its intelligence was still completely under Yi Mo's control. It couldn't attack on its own. But even if Yi Mo could order Shadowless now, he wouldn't. He had gotten past the hardest moment. He was still bleeding from using too much spirit sense, but he was very happy. He finally felt the feel of the illusion cloud fifth strike. When he controlled the sword rays to form simple formations, they drastically decreased the threat of the black strands. Yi Mo kept trying these methods of control. After some time, Yi Mo suddenly felt comfortable. The pressure was gone and his spirit sense completely let loose. He opened his eyes and found that his purple sword rays had formed a sword ray formation that trapped the diminished black strands. With a mere thought, those black strands would be completely destroyed. Illusion cloud formation kill strike popped up into Yi Mo's mind. He knew that his illusion cloud fifth strike had formed. It was just a trap and kill formation now, but as his spirit sense increased and his control over the sword rays did as well, it would turn into more and more types of trap and kill formations, and even defense formations as well. Looking at the pale-faced Mo Qianli, Yi Mo howled and waved Zishu, making an arc before yelling, "Kill!" Suddenly, the black strands were enveloped by the purple sword rays. Seeing Yi Mo destroy all the black strands, Mo Qianli suddenly spat blood. His face was as pale as paper. He looked dazedly at the black strands that had disappeared and couldn't believe that the evil soul strands that had allowed him to dominate people and kill countless enemies for 200 years were all destroyed. Although he had lost more than half of his black strands already, he had believed that if he killed Yi Mo, he would be able to get them back over time. But now, Yi Mo suddenly seemed to have found a way to deal with them and instantly killed all of them. Mo Qianli looked coldly at Yi Mo and wanted to eat him. 200 years of work was destroyed before he even reached nascent soul state. His heart was bleeding. He had never thought that there would be a golden core state level 5 as powerful as Yi Mo. If he reached golden core state peak stage, who could fight with him? There probably wouldn't be a more powerful golden core state cultivator in the entire North Far state. But he had to kill this man, not by himself however. He couldn't kill Yi Mo, but he only had to spread news that Yi Mo had killed Ao Chilong and this golden core state level 5 wouldn't live for long. Not everyone could hide like him. You will regret it. Mo Qianli glanced coldly at Yi Mo for a long time before saying. Yi Mo smiled, whether or not I regret, you won't live to see it. You think you can trap me with an incomplete level 3 trap formation? Idiot, Mo Qianli said. Yi Mo didn't answer and ordered Shadowless to attack while throwing out tens of formation flags. At the same time, Mo Qianli used his mobility technique. But as soon as he used it, he felt his meridians hurt. Immediately, he knew that he had been ambushed. He enveloped Shadowless immediately. He was someone who was very patient, but this golden core state level 5 was more patient than him. He only used such a killing blow when he was about to run away. This person was too scary. Mo Qianli just wanted to get away as far as possible. He instantly decided to burn his essence blood and force out Shadowless. The next moment, his figure had disappeared. Yi Mo applauded Mo Qianli for his decisiveness and the power of his cultivation essence and spirit sense. He had been fighting with him for so long but still forced Shadowless out with just one mouthful of essence blood. This was also when Shadowless was so much stronger than before. Thud Mo Qianli was suddenly stopped a few kilometers away. He looked at Yi Mo in disbelief and pointed at him in horror. You're a formation master as well. Clearly, if Yi Mo wasn't a formation master, how could he finish and activate the trap formation so quickly? For the second time, Mo Qianli felt danger. The last time he felt this feeling was against a nascent soul state level 1. At that time, he used his wits and damaged himself heavily before trapping the nascent soul state and killing him with evil soul stands. You said you could run, I want to see how. Shadowless, go. Yi Mo then gave Zishu a wave, bringing about another onslaught of purple sword rays. Chapter 994, No Right to Go. Chapter 994, No Right to Go. Mo Qianli was furious. How dare Yi Mo ambush him again with that thing? If he got ambushed again, then he wouldn't be called Mo Qianli. Even though his evil soul strands were gone, he wasn't a pushover. Thinking about this, his spirit sense flared up in pain again. That damned spirit sense attack. Just how many cards did this golden core state level 5 have? He was almost absurdly powerful, but in that moment of pain, Shadowless entered his meridians again. At this moment, Zishu brought countless sword rays and surrounded Mo Qianli. Mo Qianli had released a round shield already, but due to the spirit sense pike, he wasn't completely able to block the sword ray. Plus, Shadowless already started devouring his essence blood. 2 purple sword rays pierced Mo Qianli's body and his body froze. He wasn't able to stop the combined attack of Shadowless and Yi Mo. He finally realized how powerful the purple sword rays were before. He thought lightly of them before, but now he realized that it was only because Yi Mo wasn't able to fully activate them the first time. When the purple sword rays pierced into his body, he felt his cultivation essence flow away rapidly. I, Mo Qianli, have been dominant my entire life, but now I'm going to die here. I'm unsatisfied. Mo Qianli fell with endless hatred and unsatisfaction in his eyes. Yi Mo took the 3 storage rings without hesitation and burned Mo Qianli's body before packing away the formation and leaving quickly. Mo Qianli had killed Ao Chilong during the battle. It was to bring the person behind Ao Chilong here. He was fast at running and had a way to remove the spirit sense mark, so he was fine even if the master came. Meanwhile, Yi Mo would be the one unable to get away. Not long after Yi Mo left, a man in his 50s soon appeared. He looked at the dead Ari Chilong and Tong Zhong. Fury burned in his heart as he cursed, "No matter who you are, I will cut you into pieces for killing my son." After going around for a few days, Yi Mo finally came back to Peihai City. What shook Yi Mo was that there were suddenly a lot of high-level cultivators in the city. Most of them were above hollow spirit state. This made him worry. Yi Mo got back to Mo Yu immediately. Yi Mo immediately summoned everyone once he got back, wanting to ask what happened after he left. But without a need to call anyone, everyone had gathered already. Only Su Jingwen was still in solitary cultivation. Song Yangzhu grabbed Yi Mo's hand excitedly. The Mo Yu now was not the same Mo Yu that he had left. There weren't just 2 pill masters. Now there were 3 level 6 pill masters and 1 level 7 pill master. Li Jingwen was golden core state level 9. Clearly the blue when pill had helped him greatly. Zhen Xiaoshan had returned to golden core state level 3 again. Yi Ling and Song Yangzhu were both foundation establishment state peak stage. They were 1 step away from golden core state, and the only thing holding them back was that the 2 didn't have the cultivation increasing pill necessary. The reason the 2 reached this level of cultivation in less than 2 years was partly due to their spirit roots, but also because Yi Mo was providing them with spirit range pills. Not even 8-star and 9-star sects would have such things, but Yi Mo gave them to foundation establishment state cultivators. Even Su Yu and Sheng Yizhong were Kai gathering level 8, Yu Qiang was foundation establishment state level 5. What shook Yimo the most was Su Jingwen. She reached foundation establishment state without the foundation establishment pill. After she activated her hidden spirit root, her progress was astounding. Plus, she spent almost all of her time in cultivation. Li Yuqian had the least progress. She was still nascent soul state level 1. Yimo knew that when she had reached nascent soul state, it was already forced. Plus, it was harder to progress in nascent soul state, so it was normal that she wasn't able to progress. Sister Li, I heard people outside say that the Yanghai Merchant Association had bad intentions for us and a disaster transformation state Qian Bei helped us? Is that Qian Bei still in Peihai? Yimo asked. If he is, then I should go visit him. Li Yuqian nodded. Yes, that Qian Bei is called Jiling. He's a disaster transformation state formation master from the South Peace State. He came looking for you many times. He seemed very interested in our defense and attack formation. Every time he came, he would study it for a while. But half a month ago, the teleportation formation between South Peace State and North Far State was completed, so he left Peihai. He left behind a jade card saying that if you go to the South Peace State you can find him there. He left. Yimo said with regret. But then he immediately reacted and asked in joy, Sister Li, did you say the teleportation formation between South Peace State and North Far State is complete? Yes, it's finished. Brother, do you want to go find Sister Luo Ying and Qingxue there? Yiling asked. Yimo nodded. Yes, I received news that they are there. If the teleportation formation is open, then let's go there together. The Spirit Kai is much better than here, we can cultivate there. But Li Yuqian shook her head. I know you've wanted to go there and I've asked Jiling Qian Bei too. That teleportation formation is not for ordinary people, it's for cultivators at the hollow spirit state and above, and you have to be younger than 300 years. Jiling Qian Bei said that even though you're a formation master, he wasn't able to break this rule and get a spot for you to go. This immediately doused Yimo's excitement. The teleportation formation was ready, but it had nothing to do with him. Seeing Yimo's disappointment, Li Yuqian said, this is only the first criteria. The second one is that each person must pay 1 million top-grade spirit stones. Yimo fell silent. That was too easy for him, but hollow spirit state power, even if he could reach it, how long would that take? Surely it wasn't going to take him 1 or 2 years. Could he wait that long? Just these 2 criteria? Yimo asked. Li Yuqian shook her head. No, 2 more. One can be accepted with either the referral of a disaster transformation state Qian Bei from North Far State, or if one is a pill king who is level 3 or above. Yimo had already broken through to a level 4 pill king last time. But the thing was, he couldn't show that. With his current power, if he made known that he was a level 4 pill king, the only result would be getting kidnapped by sects. If he was just level 3 that might have been better, but he reached level 4 and didn't have any power faction to back him up. The only hope was a disaster transformation state Qian Bei referral, but were there even disaster transformation state Qian Bei in North Far State? Are there disaster transformation state Qian Bei in North Far State? Yimo asked. Those who reached disaster transformation state all went to South Peace State to reach truth realization state. Who would want to stay here? Li Yuqian nodded. Yes, according to what I know, there are 3 disaster transformation state cultivators in North Far State. You've probably seen one of them. I've asked Jiling Qian Bei. The teleportation formation is controlled by 3 disaster transformation states and 8 cauldron filling state cultivators. I've seen one. Li Yuqian smiled. You've seen him for sure, but you just don't know. Every time the herb plane opens, Ling Zhongtian Qian Bei would go, so you've seen him for sure. Ling Zhongtian? His disaster transformation state? Yimo asked in shock. Li Yuqian nodded. Yes, Ling Zhongtian is one of the 3 disaster transformation state cultivators. The other 2 are from the 2 8-star sects in North Far State. One is from the moon-seeking sect, Shan Di, the other from Virgin sect Tang Meng Rao. Chapter 995, South Peace State Trial Tablet. Chapter 995, South Peace State Trial Tablet. Yimo sighed. It seemed relying on others was the most unreliable. Even if he could get the referral, so what? Could he leave Song Yangzhu and the rest behind? It seemed he had to find a way to go there himself, otherwise he would always have to rely on others. To add to that, he didn't know any masters. But when he thought of Luo Ying and Ning Qingxue, his hands went warm. He was too desperate to meet up with them. Song Yangzhu felt the heat from Yimo's hands and looked at him. She held his hand even tighter, as though if she let go he would go to South Peace State. Yimo knew what she meant. He pulled her hand, signaling her not to worry. Even if he went there, he would come back soon. If he couldn't come back, he would think of ways to take them with him. In addition, Yimo realized that these requirements meant that they wanted the most genius disciples of North Far State. They exerted such efforts to find talented people like this for some reason. No matter what their reason was, raising his own power was the most important. Thinking about this, Yimo gave some pills to the others. Yi Ling and Song Yangzhu were about to form their cores. Yimo gave them special grade cultivation increasing pills. When Li Jingwen held the Cao Huan pill Yimo gave him, he almost cried out of excitement. He didn't think that this was real. He finally realized how wise his decision was to follow Yimo. Song Yangzhu knew about what happened with Yimo and felt a little assured. She stayed with Yimo for a night before preparing to form her core. Yimo left Li Yuqian to help Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling form their cores. He had to concoct large amounts of pills to improve his power. Although he got the Dihua Beast core, it was unsure if he could concoct the Heaven Glory pill. Yimo was also very curious as to what sort of things Mo Qianli and Ao Qilong had in their storage rings. When Yimo came back, Mo Yu started behaving low-key. They gradually retracted their business and stopped expansion. Mo Yu had basically been left to Jin Xiaoshan and Yu Qiang. Li Jingwen was preparing to break through to nascent soul state. As for Yimo, he only stayed with Song Yangzhu for one night and went into solitary cultivation. As soon as Yanghai Merchant Association knew that Ji Ling had gone back to South Peace State, they started investigating what to do with Mo Yu. If Mo Yu continued to expand as it had, there would be no place left for them. Although there was some danger in fighting a power with the support of a disaster transformation state cultivator, the leader of the Yanghai Merchant Association, Yang Yukang, spoke the truth. The reason Mo Yu was supported by that disaster transformation state formation master was because that formation master liked the defense formation of Mo Yu. Now that the disaster transformation state cultivator had returned to South Peace State, he might never come back to North Far State. He might not even remember Mo Yu. Plus, Mo Yu didn't have a hollow spirit state cultivator, so they couldn't go to South Peace State. Yanghai Merchant Association didn't need to be worried. But at this moment, they got news that Mo Yu was starting to retract their business in both advertisement and expansion. Since they realize their situation, it means they're not dumb to the bone. We also need to change our tactics. We'll cook them slowly and take their place after a year or two, Yang Yukang said. At the South Peace State, the South Peace City was very busy. This was the biggest cultivation city in South Peace State, and the most famous place here was the Trial Tablet Square. In South Peace City, there were 5 stone tablets on the Trial Tablet Square. They corresponded to the Golden Core State, Nascent Soul State, Hollow Spirit State, Body Condensation State and Cauldron Filling State. There were no tablets for Kai Gathering and Foundation Establishment State. There were few Disaster Transformation State and Truth Realization State cultivators, and reaching this level was already a legend in itself. Most people could remember their names, so they didn't need a trial tablet. But one thing was for sure, anyone who reached Disaster Transformation State and above had once been on these tablets. Each tablet soared into the clouds. The cultivators who wanted to take part in the trial had to come to the tablet matching their cultivation and mark their name. The tablet would rank your power of your marking. Usually, the stronger you were, the higher ranked you were. The tablet could not only judge your cultivation power but also means of attack and even state of will from the word you write. Thus, this was almost like a Hall of Fame ranking. Usually, when someone came to mark their name, the place would get busy but the hype would soon diminish. However, these past few days, the square had been filled. Almost all of the elite disciples of South Peace State came here because these few days were the South Peace City Social. The elite disciples of the sects would come with their qianbeis here and discuss about cultivation and trade goods. Everyone was from the elite of the elites. No one thought they were worse than anyone, so the best way to compete was using the trial tablets. Only a rare few cultivators would choose life and death battle due to unresolvable conflicts. This time, this social was mainly for golden core state and some nascent soul state cultivators. Before a golden core state tablet, a young man in blue shirt looked pridefully at this tablet. His clothes shook without wind, clearly his cultivation essence had surrounded his body. Everyone fell quiet as they looked at this young man, waiting for him to mark his name. A group of women stood at one corner. One baby-faced girl looked very excited and said, "Sister Rong, that blue-shirted Fang Zhongshe is the Golden Core State Hall of Fame #1. Do you think he can get into the top 10 of the trial tablet?" Sister Rong smirked. "Fang Zhongshe is not bad, but there's no way he can get into top 10. It's not bad if he can even get into top 20. Sister Rong, you're third on Golden Core State Hall of Fame. Can you beat that Fang guy on the trial tablet?" the round-faced girl asked expectantly. Sister Rong frowned and thought for a while before shaking her head in dismay. "I can't beat him yet, but half a year later, I think I will be able to." One green-dressed girl suddenly asked, "Sister Rong, who are the top 10? How come even the first of Golden Core State Hall of Fame can't beat them?" Sister Rong smiled. "Martial Sister Beiwei, usually Golden Core State cultivators with some power come and try leave their name here, and then if they reach Nascent Soul State and tried to mark their names on the Nascent Soul State trial tablet, the name on the Golden Core State trial tablet disappears. Some people disappeared after leaving a name on the Golden Core State tablet, so their name stays there." Tang Beiwei asked curiously, "In that case, if you leave behind your name on the tablet and never go write your name on the Nascent Soul State tablet, your name would stay there forever?" Sister Rong shook her head. "No, after 300 years it would disappear. Except for the person ranked first. No matter which trial tablet it is, the name in first position will never disappear unless someone surpasses him. The top 10 names you see here are all left behind by Golden Core States in the past 3 centuries, but they all disappeared and never left their names on the Nascent Soul State trial tablet." Then, she looked at the pale yellow-dressed woman and asked, "Martial Sister Susu, is there something on your mind?" Before she could reply, the blue-shirted youth dashed up into the air in a blue ray of light. Chapter 996, Encounter. Chapter 996, Encounter. Almost everyone's attention was captivated by that blue figure. The intense pressure from the trial tablet could be felt by the observers even from a long way away. 3 meters, 6 meters, 18 meters. Finally, the blue figure seemed bound by that force and slowed down. When he was almost 21 meters in the air, the youth suddenly stopped. It seemed he had reached his limit, and the youth quickly wrote the words Fang Zhongshe on the tablet. Immediately, the words turned into a blue ray of light that immersed into the tablet. When the youth landed, his name appeared on the tablet. He looked at his ranking, Golden Core State 11th. However, that youth shook his head in disappointment. Fang Zhongshe got 11th. Indeed, he's still #1 to the Golden Core State cultivators of South Peace State. Yeah, the lightning element cultivation method is too powerful. Other than the qianbeis who have disappeared, he is actually #1. He doesn't seem too satisfied. Everyone took part in the discussion. However, Fang Zhongshe seemed very calm. Suddenly, he saw a white-clothed woman walk towards a group of girls on the square, and joy shone in his eyes. He quickly followed her. Due to Fang Zhongshe easily getting 11th, many people who wanted to try their luck gave up. Some even made up their mind to get into top 10 no matter what next time. If their ranking was too low, they would just be embarrassing themselves. Lightning Cloud Sect Fang Zhongshe greet Martial Sisters from Black Ice Sect. Fang Zhongshe was very polite and saluted with his fists. "Martial Brother Fang is extraordinary indeed, you got 11th as soon as you arrived. This ranking is pretty much #1. Congratulations." Sister Rong smiled. That round-faced girl looked at Fang Zhongshe in admiration. Fang Zhongshe didn't seem satisfied at all. "Martial Sister Rong, my measly accomplishment is nothing to be praised. Even Sister Rome wouldn't perform any worse than me, much less the top 10 Qianbei. Martial Brother Fang, is your goal to get into the top 10 of Golden Core State Trial Tablet? The round-faced girl asked. Fang Zhongshe nodded seriously. Yes, although I don't hope to reach the top, I must get into top 10 before I reach nascent soul state. Then, he looked at the white-clothed woman. However, that woman was talking with 2 other women in joy and didn't notice him at all. Sister Qingxue. Tang Beiwei charged over when the white-clothed woman came. She hugged her tightly. Luo Ying also came over and the 3 became very excited. This was the first time they had reunited since they split up. Sister Susu, Beiwei, I have always wanted to go visit you guys but… Ning Qingshue's eyes went red as she spoke. Luo Ying was different. If it wasn't something to do with Yi Mo, she would control her emotions no matter how exciting something was, but Tang Beiwei and Yi Ling were different, they showed their emotions on their faces. If possible, Ning Qingxue would rather be with Luo Ying and Tang Beiwei than be by herself at Ethereal Immortal Pond. When they spoke of Yi Mo, they clearly seemed dejected. With their fame, there was no way Yi Mo wouldn't have known about them if he was in South Peace State, but the fact was that Yi Mo still hadn't come looking. The only explanation was that he wasn't in South Peace State. Fang Zhongshe and Zhao Rong looked at the 3 in surprise. Luo Susu's beauty was known throughout the entire South Peace State, but the people from Black Ice Sect knew how she didn't like to talk. She rarely said anything to anyone other than Tang Beiwei. Zhao Rong also knew that white-clothed woman was Ning Qingxue from Ethereal Immortal Pond, also one of the South Peace State 10 beauties. Usually, the 10 beauties were famous but were rarely close like this. Luo Ying, Ning Qingxue and Tang Beiwei stood together talking. White, green and pale yellow, the 3 colors were in stark contrast to each other, and almost all the attention from the square focused here. Martial Sister Qingxue, your cultivation speed is really fast, you're already Golden Core State Level 3. Fang Zhongshe suddenly walked over and saluted with his fists. Who are you? Qingxue is not something you can say, Luo Ying said coldly. Fang Zhongshe felt a little awkward, he believed Luo Ying was purposely saying that. There was no way anyone here didn't know him. He didn't know that Luo Ying really didn't know who he was and was just unhappy that he tried to chat up Ning Qingxue. Fang Zhongshe was a gentleman and smiled. Lightning Cloud Sect Fang Zhongshe, greeting Black Ice Sect Martial Sister Luo Susu. His tone was genuine and didn't seem flirty at all. Luo Ying frowned and wanted to take Tang Beiwei and Ning Qingxue to another place to talk when she heard someone else say, Martial Sister Susu, I didn't think you were here too. Another group of people walked over. The man leading them wore faint purple cultivator robes. In terms of looks and temperament, he was even better than Fang Zhongshe. Luo Ying didn't say anything at all and was just going to drag Ning Qingxue and Tang Beiwei away. Martial Sister Susu, this is Infinity Sect's number 1 disciple Yuan Guannan. He's only 36 but is already nascent soul state level 2, Zhao Rong quickly stopped Luo Ying and introduced. Infinity was the top sect in the entire Luo Yu continent. Black Ice Sect was also a 9-star sect, but they were far from Infinity Sect's level. Susu didn't really like talking to these people but she couldn't act like she didn't see Zhao Rong. Qingxue. At this moment, another girl who came with Ning Qingxue asked, Martial Sister Qingxue, they are? The girl came from Ethereal Immortal Pond. She asked this question in confusion after seeing Ning Qingxue suddenly being so talkative with 2 girls. Haha, everyone here is from the elite of South Peace State. Everyone will be the future powerful beings of South Peace State. Let me introduce you, Yuan Guannan said. He pointed at Luo Ying and the others and said, they are Black Ice Sect's Luo Susu and Tang Beiwei, and Ethereal Immortal Pond's Ning Qingxue. They are part of the most beautiful 10 girls of South Peace State. Behind them are core disciples of Black Ice Sect Zhao Rong and Wang Weina. Martial Sister Zhao Rong is Golden Core State Hall of Fame number 3 and this good-looking blue-shirted brother. The blue-shirted youth stood straight and said, Lightning Cloud Sect Fang Zhongshe, greetings friends. With this, more and more cultivators were introduced. A grey-clothed handsome cultivator also walked out and saluted with his fists, Golden Sword Sect Xiao Fei, this is my sister Xiao Xiyin. People discussed, Golden Sword Sect Xiao Fei, Golden Core State Hall of Fame No. 2. He didn't go to the trial tablet. I think if he tried he would be at least top 20. His sister is the 5th-ranked beauty of South Peace State, Xiao Shiyin. Infinity Sects Dong Tianya. God Wind Valley's Mo Feng. More and more names were said, everyone was the elite of their sects. Luo Susu, you didn't disappoint me indeed. You're already Golden Core State Level 4. I will wait for you 1 year, when you're Golden Core State Peak Stage, Wen Sai, will challenge you again. Chapter 997, Looking for Trouble. Chapter 997, Looking for Trouble. Luo Ying looked coldly at Wen Sai and said, if you think you're strong, go challenge the people at Hall of Fame. I don't like to talk to people I don't know. Luo Ying never understood why this extremely beautiful woman wanted to challenge her all the time. If it was for Yuan Guannan, Luo Ying felt that was even more absurd. She didn't have any intention towards pursuing this Yuan. There was a very strange feeling as soon as the two started talking. Both were ranked top of the South Peace State 10 beauties, but why did there seem to be conflict in their tone as soon as they met? Ning Qingxue studied Wen Sai. She was even a little taller than her and Luo Ying. Her hair was shoulder length and her extremely beautiful face was somewhat prideful. Her skin wasn't even as white as Beiwei's, but there was a unique feminine attraction about her. It was as though if someone looked at her, he would never be able to move his eyes away. From Ning Qingshue's perspective, Wen Sai was very beautiful but just a little lacking compared to Susu. At most, she was at her level. Wen Sai, Susu's sister has never seen you before. Why do you want to challenge her? Ning Qingxue frowned and asked unhappily. I don't like being ranked the same as someone. I will let everyone know that there is only one first place in the South Peace State 10 beauties, Wen Sai said calmly. Yuan Guannan looked unhappily at Wen Sai and said, Sai, don't talk like that. Wen Sai sneered and ignored Yuan Guannan. Luo Ying looked calmly at Wen Sai. I never thought I was some South Peace State top 10 beauty. If you like the fame then take it. Qingxue and Beiwei don't care about it either. If you want it then take it. No one would come to take it from you. From today on, don't include us in some South Peace State 10 beauties. If you're bored, you can find someone else to challenge. I'm not as bored as you. Qingxue, Beiwei, let's go. Then Luo Ying pulled Ning Qingxue and Tang Beiwei's hands and turned to leave. Everyone was dazed that Luo Susu didn't care about the fame, but what right did she have for Ning Qingxue and Tang Beiwei to quit the South Peace State 10 beauties? The surprising thing was they didn't object and left willingly with Luo Ying. Wen Sai was stunned for a moment but stopped Luo Susu again. Good, you have this self-awareness, but there are some men you can't touch. Even if you dare to touch, I will take it back and I will challenge you. Sai. Yuan Guannan said unhappily, clearly thinking Wen Sai was talking about him. Luo Ying was soft on the outside but tough on the inside. She felt contempt at picking fights with someone like Wen Sai. Her tone turned cold. I have a husband and I will only touch my husband. No one can take him from me, you are no exception. Other than my husband, even if you take all the men in the world, it has nothing to do with me. Everyone was shaken, no one expected the first beauty to have a husband already. Many of those who admired Luo Ying fell into an ice cave. Although they knew they stood no chance even if she wasn't married, that didn't affect them feeling this way. Susu, you're married already? Yuan Guannan's face went pale. His tone was getting shaky. Who is he? Who? Luo Susu didn't even look at him and left. Wen Sai was shocked for a few moments and her face grew unsightly. Luo Susu didn't even fight her but completely defeated her with just a few words. Even if she took all the men in the world, it has nothing to do with her. This was clearly saying that she was a promiscuous woman. Wen Sai's face sunk. She wasn't implying about Yuan Guannan because only she knew who it was, but Luo Susu's words hurt her. She swore in her heart that no matter who your husband was, I will let you know that no one can stop me from getting the man I want. Perhaps one day, I will steal your husband and then kick him back to you. Then you will know the difference between us. Yi Mo had come out of solitary cultivation after a month and was greeted Yi Ling and Song Yangzhu, who had reached Golden Core State. Yi Mo was very happy that the two had both reached Golden Core State. He was just about to give them the Golden Core State cultivation resources, but felt a powerful Spirit Kai whirlpool explode outside Peihai City. Brother, that's caused by Brother Li forming his nascent soul. Master and Sister Shan both went to see. Let's go have a look too, Yiling said. With this, Mo Yu's power would rise up another level. Thinking about this, Yi Mo released the flying ship and took Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling outside Peihai City. At this moment, a few thousand kilometers outside Peihai City, many cultivators had gathered and more were coming. Although there were a lot of nascent soul state cultivators in Peihai City, there were mostly Golden Core State and Foundation Establishment State cultivators here. No one wanted to miss this opportunity. Li Jingwen sat in the center of a simple spirit gathering formation. Li Yuqian and Zhen Xiaoshan were anxiously protecting him. The understanding cultivators stood 3 kilometers away, but there were a few Golden Core State cultivators who didn't care at all that someone was forming their nascent soul. They stayed very close and had a casual look on their faces. Yi Mo was furious seeing this. Forming the nascent soul required absolute focus and no interruptions at all. Li Jingwen didn't even have a defense formation. Master. Hearing Yi Ling's call, Li Yuqian and the others turned back to see Yi Mo. Finally, their anxious faces eased up. Yi Mo flew over and saluted with his fists to the cultivators around. Friends, today is our Mo Yu's manager Li forming his nascent soul. Thanks for visiting, but please retreat to a distance of 5 kilometers. I need to set up a formation. Mo Yu's Yi Mo thanks you all. Mo Yu's Yi Mo. He's the owner of Mo Yu that's always nowhere to be seen. How is he only Golden Core State level 5? It's probably him, but don't underestimate him. When he was Golden Core State level 2, he easily killed Golden Core State middle stage cultivators. So that's it. Most cultivators started to retreat. The breakthrough of higher states were the most important thing for cultivators. Anyone who tried to impede them was the most serious enemy. But while most of the people retreated 5 kilometers, there were still 5 Golden Core State cultivators who stood closer. They were very close, only 1 kilometer from Li Jingwen. This distance was enough to threaten Li Jingwen's breakthrough. Yi Mo dumped a few formation flags and looked coldly at them. Why are you still here? Ha ha. The Golden Core State peak stage amongst the 5 laughed wildly. What a joke. What's his breakthrough got to do with me? Is this place yours? A mere Golden Core State level 5 dares to clear the scene. Yi Mo threw down a few more formation flags and said, you guys need to think this through. Once I set up the formation, you won't be able to leave. What, do you want to fight? Oh, I understand. You have a nascent soul state cultivator. Very well, you're welcome to attack. Our Yanghai Merchant Association seems to have many more nascent soul state cultivators than Mo Yu. You only have one and you dare to tell us to go away, a Golden Core State level 8 sneered. By now, even the onlookers realized that these 5 were here to cause trouble. It seems Mo Yu doesn't have it easy. Yanghai Merchant Association really has conflict with them. Clearly, otherwise, they wouldn't send people here to obstruct the breakthrough. Impeding one's Dao foundation is a huge taboo. Yi Mo didn't bother trying to persuade them. He threw out more formation flags and countless spirit stones. No one could tell what formation Yi Mo was setting up, but as Yi Mo threw more formation flags, the spirit Kai nearby seemed to thicken and Li Jingwen gradually grew blurry. Eventually, even the 5 cultivators from Yanghai Merchant Association became blurry. Chapter 998, Using Lightning to Kill You. Chapter 998, Using Lightning to Kill You. When the 5 cultivators couldn't see the outside anymore, they realized that Yi Mo really dared to trap them. But even so, they weren't worried at all. Mo Yu wouldn't dare to do anything to Yanghai Merchant Association. In the end, the 5 couldn't even see each other. Not good, we're trapped. Let's work together and break the formation. The Golden Core State peak stage yelled. But no one responded to him. The 5 were clearly separated by the formation. Now, the Golden Core State peak stage began to worry. It seemed that Mo Yu didn't care if they were from the Yang High Merchant Association or not. Just as he was about to yell Yi Mo's name, the sky suddenly darkened. 9 chopstick-sized lightning bolts flashed in the sky. Yi Mo helped Li Jingwen strengthen the Spirit Gathering formation while setting up the Lightning Attraction formation. This time, the Lightning Attraction formation wasn't for himself but for the 5 Golden Core State Cultivators. Previously, he had helped Li Yuqian take some lightning bolts. Now, the 5 Golden Core State Cultivators needed to do it. Yi Mo was sure that the 5 couldn't absorb lightning source like him. Once the final lightning bolt struck down, they would be dead for sure. Li Jingwen's situation was different than Li Yuqian's. He had 2 top-grade defense spirit artifacts as well as the 5 altruistic Golden Core State Cultivators. Yi Mo wasn't worried at all. After Yi Mo set up the formation, he came out. He didn't want to stay in there for too long and make people think too much. Seeing Yi Mo exit alone without the 5 Golden Core State Cultivators, everyone was bewildered, but the lightning was beginning to get crazy. Their attention was focused on that and they soon forgot about the 5 Golden Core State Cultivators. Association Leader Yi, how come our men from Yang High Merchant Association haven't come out? Another Golden Core State Peak Stage came out and asked in a disrespectful tone. Yi Mo sneered and suddenly raised his voice, "You really talk oddly. Just then, I was helping my manager set up a defensive formation and told your men to come out. They said that this place didn't belong to Mo Yu and I have no right to tell them where to stand. I believed so too, so I came out alone. But as soon as I come out, you guys reproach me. This is overtly looking for trouble. Are you going to start trouble either way if I let them out or not?" With this, most people watching couldn't take it anymore. They didn't dare to openly offend the Yang High Merchant Association, but there was gossip spreading. Yi Mo's voice was loud, causing almost all the cultivators to hear and curse the Yang High Merchant Association for being so domineering. The 2 Golden Core State Cultivator knew they were being unreasonable. After all, everyone heard that the 5 Golden Core State Cultivators didn't want to come out. The formation rumbled inside. Even if they suspected something, they had no evidence. Plus, after Yi Mo came out there was only Li Jingwen by himself. There was no way he could fight 5 Golden Core State Cultivators while forming his nascent soul. Rumble rumble lightning flashed in the sky non-stop. A few cultivators felt it strange that Yi Mo had added a stealth formation to the defensive formation. After all, stealth formations were of no use when dealing with divine damnation. They would only serve as a waste of spirit stones. As more and more lightning fell, people realized that the rumbling was getting less and less. Crack the last thumb-sized lightning bolt struck and a huge spirit Kai whirlpool gathered in the sky. Seeing this, everyone knew that the breakthrough was successful. Otherwise, such a huge spirit Kai whirlpool wouldn't amass. Yi Mo started to pack up his formation. He wasn't going to let anyone see the lightning attraction formation. As long as he took the formation flags, no one would be able to tell what he did. Even if they guessed that he set the 5 up, there was no evidence. When everyone looked at the 5 cultivators who had gone in, they were shaken. They had turned into 5 charred bodies. "They're dead," the Golden Core State Peak Stage questioning Yi Mo suddenly called in shock. He suddenly pointed at Yi Mo and yelled, You dare to kill our Yang High Merchant Association people. You. In his fury, he couldn't even form a complete sentence. Yi Mo was prepared to use Shadowless to sneak attack if there was someone still alive, but now that the 5 were all dead, there was no need. Hearing this Golden Core State Cultivator's words, he immediately sneered and stood up, saluting with his fists to the people nearby. "Friends, I'd invited these 5 to come out before, but they didn't want to come out. Now that they got caught in someone else's divine damnation, am I to blame for this? Is the Yang High Merchant Association such an unreasonable place? Yeah, the Yang High Merchant Association is being too unreasonable. Association leader Yi didn't even take long to set up the formation. How can he kill 5 Golden Core State Cultivators in such a short time? They were clearly killed by the divine damnation. Haha, we all know this, there's no need to say it clearly. They're just doing this for Mo Yu's land. A golden core state level 5 instantly killed 5 cultivators much stronger than him. The young high cultivators only seemed to know how to do business. Although they didn't dare to offend the Young High Merchant Association, they still dared to discuss. Hearing this, the 2 Young High Merchant Association golden core state cultivators were furious. No one was helping the Young High Merchant Association at all. After all, everyone heard and saw clearly what they just did. They only knew how to do business. This was mocking their battle power. Li Jingwen suddenly got up and howled. His clothes were tattered, but none of his top-grade spirit artifacts were. From the howl he made, everyone could tell he was a real nascent soul state cultivator now. Under countless gazes of admiration, Li Jingwen took out a new set of clothes and walked to Yi Mo Association leader. I didn't disappoint you. I've reached nascent soul state. Yi Mo was really happy. Mo Yu was getting stronger and stronger. However, he knew that although he hid the assassination of the 5 golden core state cultivators really well, any clever person would be able to tell he was behind it. This place wasn't suitable to stay at. When he got back, he needed to think about how to fight with the Young High Merchant Association. Ever since the 5 golden core state cultivators didn't want to leave Li Jingwen's divine damnation range, Yi Mo had made up his mind to kill them. He had already made a retreat in business, but Young Hai was still chasing them closely. There was no other path of survival for Mo Yu. If they were going to fight sooner or later, he might as well do it now. Seeing that Li Jingwen was done here, Yi Mo said, "Let's go back and talk." "What, you want to leave just like that after killing our Young High Merchant Association's people?" An icy voice sounded. Chapter 999, Save Your Farts for When You Go Home. Chapter 999, Save Your Farts for When You Go Home. Everyone looked at the person who just spoke. Yi Mo's heart sunk. It was a nascent soul state level 3 cultivator. He had 2 nascent soul state cultivators on his side, but they were both only nascent soul state level 1. Even if they could beat the nascent soul state level 3, Yang Hai would have more coming while he only had 2. Even though they knew he killed the 5 cultivators, Yi Mo wasn't going to admit it. Thinking about this, Yi Mo said, "There are so many friends watching here, and your Young High Merchant Association also has people watching. I don't understand when you saw me killing your people. Am I supposed to be responsible for them getting caught in nascent soul state divine damnation when they didn't want to come out? That nascent soul state cultivator clearly just arrived and didn't know what happened, besides the fact that a few people died." Hearing Yi Mo's words, he frowned and looked at the 2 golden core state from his side. The 2 didn't dare to hide anything. After all, there were too many cultivators here. They would be exposed as soon as they told any lies. After questioning them, the nascent soul state turned and said coldly to Yi Mo, "So this means you set up a trap formation making them unable to come out?" Yi Mo sneered. "Set up a trap formation so they couldn't come out? This is the funniest joke I've heard. I set up a defensive formation and your men didn't want to come out. There are so many people here, ask any of them. Plus, I only set up a level 3 formation. Do you think that can stop 5 golden core state cultivators? This is too funny." The nascent soul state cultivator frowned. He didn't doubt Yi Mo's words. With Yi Mo's age, a level 3 formation would be the best he could do, and that was indeed not enough to stop 5 golden core state tertiary stage cultivators. Yi Mo didn't see that amongst the crowd of cultivators, there was a golden core state peak stage with a strange smile on his face, thinking, it was clearly a level 4 trap formation, yet he calls it a level 3 defense formation. Interesting, such a young level 4 formation master. It's the first time I've seen this. At this moment, Li Yuqian and the rest came to Yi Mo's side. The nascent soul state cultivator saw the 2 nascent soul states and grew more hesitant. He was nascent soul state level 3, but he couldn't say he could win against the 2 for sure. Yi Mo wasn't going to hesitate like him. He immediately said to Li Yuqian and others, "Sister Li, let's go." He took out his flying ship and the 6 got on. Immediately, they went back to Pei Hai City. Yi Mo was so desperate to get back to Mo Yu because there were complete formations he had set up there as well as teleportation formation. Even if he was no match for the Young High Merchant Association, he could leave easily. As soon as Yi Mo left, the people watching left as well. The young high nascent soul state cultivator had a bleak face and took the 2 golden core state peak stage cultivators into Pei High City too. Both he and Yi Mo knew that this matter wasn't settled. The reason he hadn't attacked yet was that he wasn't quite sure what the association leader of the Young High Merchant Association's will was. As soon as Yi Mo got back to Mo Yu, he immediately gave out cultivation pills, especially soul essence pill. He gave multiple bottles to Li Jingwen and Li Yuqian. He was going to continue perfecting the formation. Due to being limited by resources, he could previously just barely upgrade the defense and attack formation to level 4. But now, he acquired Kai Hong's storage ring and the first thing he was going to do was upgrade the formation to level 5. Level 4 formations were sufficient against nascent soul state cultivators, but Yi Mo didn't believe that the Young High Merchant Association didn't have a hollow spirit state cultivator. How could the number 1 merchant association in Pei High City be without a hollow spirit state cultivator? Yi Mo rebuilt the formation in the guest hall. If the people from Young High came to threaten them, the venue would be the guest hall. That might be the first battleground. Yi Mo also had another reason to do this. It was to let everyone know that Mo Yu wasn't to be easily messed with. If he didn't completely beat down Young High Merchant Association, then after he left Pei High and went to South Peace State, people would still scheme against Mo Yu. But what Yi Mo didn't expect was that after 2 days passed and Yi Mo had upgraded all the formations to level 5, there was still no one arriving from Young High Merchant Association. Still, Yi Mo didn't worry and told everyone to cultivate. If anyone asked, he instructed them to say that the formations were taught and set up by Jiling Qianbei. If he wasn't waiting for the people to come, he would have already gone into solitary cultivation to reach Golden Core State Peak Stage. No one knew that he had made the Heaven Glory pill, and 9 pills at that. But Yi Mo was helpless due to the fact that there weren't any more Duhua Beast cores, so he couldn't concoct more. On the 5th day, when Yi Mo was almost getting impatient, Sheng Yizhong said that the Young High Merchant Association people were here. There was a group of 11 people. Yi Mo breathed easy. He was afraid that these people wouldn't come. If they used some other means, he really didn't have a good way to deal with it. With Young High Merchant Association's dominance, since they made up their mind to annihilate Mo Yu, they would do it up front. This time, Yi Mo killed 5 of their people, giving them an excuse. "Did you go notify Pei High City Lord Estate?" Yi Mo asked. He had already ordered if that Young High Merchant Association came, the first thing to do other than reporting to him was to notify the City Lord Estate. Yi Mo knew that in order to survive in Pei High, they had to succumb to one side until they had a certain level of power. Yi Mo chose the City Lord Estate for 2 reasons. Firstly, they didn't have any direct conflict of interests, and second, that as long as he notified them, even if they didn't come, they couldn't say they didn't know. Sheng Yizhong nodded. "When the Young High Merchant Association people came, I already sent someone to notify them. The manager there said that it's not suitable for them to get involved in the matters between us and Young High Merchant Association." Yi Mo sneered. He had expected this and said to Sheng Yizhong, "Call out Sister Li and Manager Li, get ready for battle." Yi Mo knew that the conditions Young High Merchant Association would set would be extremely unreasonable. He didn't need to ask to know there was no chance of compliance. It was either Mo Yu leave Pei High City or submit to them. As for whether they could even leave safely, it was still up to the Young High Merchant Association. Yi Mo, Li Yuqian, Li Jingwen, and Zhen Xiaoshan came to the guest hall and found 11 cultivators there. Seeing their power levels, Yi Mo's eyes twitched. There were 5 Golden Core State Peak Stage, 3 Nascent Soul State Tertiary Stage and Middle Stage, 2 Golden Core State Tertiary Stage, and what shook Yi Mo the most was that there was even 1 Hollow Spirit State cultivator. That Hollow Spirit State cultivator sat at the top and the 10 cultivators sat by his side. He saw Yi Mo and the rest come in and sneered, saying coldly, "Since you came, have a seat." It was as though they owned this place. Li Jingwen was going to talk, but Yi Mo stopped her and sat down first. He didn't talk. He didn't need to be afraid in here. There was a level 5 trap and attack formation. Yi Mo believed that if they manned the formation, they could trap and kill the 11 people even if they had a Hollow Spirit State cultivator. "You're quite bold." That Hollow Spirit State saw Yi Mo didn't seem scared at all and sneered. Yi Mo suddenly took out 4 jade cups and a jade kettle. He poured an aromatic liquid into the 4 cups and handed the other 3 to Li Jingwen, Li Yuqian, and Zhen Xiaoshan. Sister Li, have a taste of this, it's good. Then, Yi Mo drank from his cup and closed his eyes in enjoyment for a while. Finally, he looked at the hollow spirit state cultivator and sneered. If you have words, then hurry up and say them, save your farts for when you go back. Chapter 1000, Killing Hollow Spirit State. Chapter 1000, Killing Hollow Spirit State. After first trapping Li Ruhe, Yi Mo couldn't join his illusion cloud strikes together, but he was eventually able to use it however he wanted. The illusion cloud formation kill strike had developed to the point he could hurt Li Ruhe with the sword rays. Li Ruhe was furious, but he was getting more and more shocked. If he hadn't experienced what he had gone through today, he would never believe that a golden core state cultivator could hurt him. But the fact was that this golden core state cultivator's sword technique was not only bizarre, but the sword rays that shot up from that purple kitchen knife had formed a sword ray formation. This formation was not fluent to begin with, but eventually it became more and more solid. A golden core state cultivator could form his sword rays into the equivalent of a level 3 attack formation. How absurd was this? Clearly, he was at least a level 4 formation grandmaster. Thinking about the fact that Yi Mo was a formation grandmaster, Li Ruhe began to sweat more and more. It was absurd, but this was indeed the first time he felt fear towards a golden core state cultivator. He had already realized that this formation wasn't set up by that South Peace State disaster transformation state cultivator. It was set up by this golden core state cultivator. In this formation, he was forced to remain very passive and could only try to break free. He had no room to counterattack. Due to this, Yi Mo was already in an undefeatable position. If Yi Mo really set up this trap and attack formation, then Yi Mo was a real level 5 formation great master. He had to go out quickly, otherwise, even if he was hollow spirit state, he would surely be killed in the end. Yi Mo also felt unhappy. He took all the opportunities he could and put Li Ruhe at such a disadvantage, but he still couldn't damage Li Ruhe seriously. If this went on, his formation might not last till the moment he killed Li Ruhe. Hollow spirit state cultivators were indeed strong. They weren't something he could kill, even with a level 5 formation. Luckily he upgraded the formation to level 5 without conserving materials, or Li Ruhe would have long broken free. His illusion cloud formation kill strike was powerful, but it didn't do enough damage to this high-level cultivator. Yi Mo was already thinking of ways to improve his illusion cloud formation kill strike. He thought that if he formed the sword rays into a real sword, would the power increase drastically? But would that increase the toll on his spirit sense? Suddenly, he heard Li Ruhe howl in pain. He felt his sword ray immersed into Li Ruhe's body. The beams from the formation also passed through his body. Li Ruhe was no longer able to attack the formation. Shanghai Merchant Association won't let you go, he struggled to say before falling dead to the ground. Yi Mo sneered and took out the rainbow soul devouring flag and swept it out. The hollow spirit state cultivator's soul was stronger than that of a nascent soul state cultivator. His attack killed Li Ruhe, but he had already seen Li Ruhe use a soul forbidden technique to escape. Not everyone knew how to do this, but high-level cultivators knew a little. Before Li Ruhe could beg for mercy, his soul was devoured by the rainbow soul devouring flag. Clearly, the lethal blow wasn't struck by Yi Mo but by Li Yuqian. Those 10 cultivators were already dead. Li Yuqian's face was pale. She had used her forbidden technique and hurt herself as well. She shook her head and said weakly, "A bit longer and that hollow spirit state might have broken free. In that case, all of Mo you would have fallen with us." Then Li Yuqian took out a life essence pill and ate it before sitting down. She said to Yi Mo, "Our battle with Shanghai Merchant Association has just begun. They lost a hollow spirit state and many nascent soul state cultivators, which was more than half of their power, but their association leader Yang Yukang is a hollow spirit state middle stage cultivator. We need to be prepared." Then Li Yuqian started recovering her cultivation essence. Yi Mo nodded and took Li Ruhe's storage ring. Li Jingwen and the others had handed over the rest of the storage ring. Yimo waved his hand. Let Sister Lee distribute these later. Take out what you need, put the rest into Mo Yu's storage. Take a break too, that Yang Yukang won't let things go here. I need to lay the formation down again. After this battle, Yimo gained a better understanding of the power of hollow spirit state cultivators. Just a level 5 trap and kill formation plus his golden core state level 5 power wasn't enough to kill a hollow spirit state. Yimo grit his teeth and used up all of Kai Hong's materials. He laid a few more kill formations in Mo Yu. If 1 was not enough, I'll use 2, if 2's not enough I'll use 3. I don't believe that a level 5 formation can't do anything to a hollow spirit state middle stage. Yimo thought that at this moment, no one would come and find them. Even if there were, it would be people from the Yang High Merchant Association. But as soon as Yimo came out, Su Yu said someone had come to find him. It was a golden core state peak stage cultivator. He looked like he was in his 50s, with a broad face and big eyes. He was clearly an astute person. Association Leader Yi, I'm Pu Yufeng, a solo cultivator. I hope you don't mind my sudden arrival. The middle-aged man saluted with his fists. Yimo didn't know what this guy was here for, so he said plainly, Brother Pu wouldn't be unaware of Mo Yu's predicament right now. Since other people don't dare to come, why would you? Pu Yufeng sat down and said, Of course I know Mo Yu's predicament, and I even know that the Yang High Merchant Association cultivators looking for trouble here probably won't make it back. Yimo was surprised. It was just moments ago that he killed them. How did this Pu Yufeng know? Pu Yufeng said again, I wasn't too confident before, but when I came to Mo Yu, I was sure. To be honest, Association Leader Yi is the biggest genius I have ever seen. A few days ago, I saw Association Leader Yi use level 3 trap formation to kill the 5 Yang High Merchant Association cultivators. I thought Association Leader Yi was a level 4 formation great master, but it seems now that I was gravely mistaken. Yimo was shaken. He didn't expect this Pu Yufeng to be able to see through him. It seemed he really couldn't underestimate the cultivators of the world. There were powerful cultivators everywhere, but they just didn't want to show it. Yimo was grateful that Pu Yufeng didn't expose him on the spot, but he knew that this guy had some request know that he was bringing this up. No matter what, if he used Yang High Merchant Association to threaten him, there was no need to talk anymore. Yimo believed this person wouldn't be dumb enough to do that. Yimo smiled. He felt this Pu Yufeng didn't have any ill will at least. He said, Brother Pu, if you have anything to say, just say it. Okay, in that case, I will. Pu Yufeng sat down again. Chapter 1001, Mysterious Mo Yu. Chapter 1001, Mysterious Mo Yu. According to the information I have, you're the newest pill concoction Hall of Fame #1. But you offended Ghost Immortal sect and thus you sought asylum here. Perhaps you even wanted to go South Peace State. Pu Yufeng looked at Yimo and said. Yimo sneered on the inside. He didn't try to promote his name, but he knew that if someone really looked into him, they would find this out. Even if Ghost Immortal sect came, he wasn't afraid. He heard that they only had one hollow spirit state. He could kill the Yang High Merchant Association's hollow spirit state cultivator, so he could also kill Ghost Immortal sect's hollow spirit state cultivator. If he dared to come, he would just kill him. As for Immortal Treasure Tower and All Pill Tower, he wasn't even worried at all. It was just people lower down in the power pyramid that had enmity with him. They wouldn't all come over. Plus, he believed that if he kicked Yang High Merchant Association away, then Pei High City would form an alliance with him. Once that happened, he believed that ordinary powers wouldn't dare to come say anything, not even the Ghost Immortal sect. Seeing Yimo sneer, Pu Yufeng quickly said, I'm not intending to use this news to exchange anything. I know that since you're here, you aren't be afraid of the Ghost Immortal sect. I'm just making a deal with Association Leader Yi. If you agree then great, but if not, then pretend I never came. No one would know about those things. Yimo didn't want this guy to look too bad since he was smart and saw through things clearly, so he asked, just be straightforward then. Since Mo Yu is publicly staying here, we've never planned to be scared of anyone. Pu Yufeng felt Yimo's discomfort and smiled bitterly. Association leader Yi would know that the journey to South Peace State is very difficult. Even Hollow Spirit State have to be under 300 years old. Ordinary people won't be able to access the teleportation formation to South Peace State at all. But if Brother Yi wants to go to South Peace State, I have a way. Yi Mo was startled. This ordinary golden core state cultivator had a way to the South Peace State. Why didn't he go himself then? The South Peace State was much better than North Far State. Pu Yufeng continued, Association leader, you probably heard that if you want to go if you're not yet Hollow Spirit State, then you need the recommendation of a North Far State disaster transformation state. You have a way for a disaster transformation state to recommend me? Yi Mo asked him. Pu Yufeng nodded, yes, although I don't have a way for disaster transformation state cultivator to directly recommend you, I have a way for them to find you and ask you for help. Then you can make your request. Yi Mo didn't ask how. He stayed calm and asked, tell me, what is your condition? Hearing this, Pu Yufeng's face turned red and he seemed excited as he said, I want a pill to reach nascent soul state, either cow horn pill or soul condensation pill. Yi Mo replied, Mo Yu is just a newly started small merchant association. Do you think we can provide this sort of pill? As though knowing Yi Mo would say this, Pu Yufeng took out a formation disc and put it in front of Yi Mo before saying, plus this formation disc, it's passed down from my ancestors. Our family is a formation master family, but my generation has far less formation prowess than that of our ancestors. Level 6 defense formation disc. Yi Mo was shook again. He was already a level 5 formation grandmaster, but he could only make level 3 and level 4 formation discs. He didn't have the materials for level 5 formation disc, but even if he did he wouldn't be able to make one, yet Pu Yufeng had taken out a level 6 formation disc. Even without the disaster transformation state cultivator's recommendation, just this level 6 formation disc was enough. Yi Mo grabbed it and studied it for a long time before sighing, it's a level 6 defense formation disc indeed. Each time it's sold it costs 100,000 top-grade spirit stones. It's a big money drain. Pu Yufeng smiled awkwardly. He knew that it was a powerful item and he could get a very good price for it, but he was only in golden core state. If he tried to sell something this powerful he might be killed straight away. He made up his mind to find Yi Mo after seeing that Mo Yu's defense formation was already level 5. He believed that a level 5 formation Great Master wouldn't kill someone for a formation disc. Plus, he had made some preparations too. Okay, deal. Here is a cow horn pill. Yi Mo didn't even ask about going to South Peace State and gave a cow horn pill to Pu Yufeng. Pu Yufeng still couldn't believe he just got the cow horn pill. His hands were shaking with excitement. It's a special grade cow horn pill? Pu Yufeng's tone was shaky. Yi Mo studied it for a while before putting it away and asked, I'm very curious how you knew I had the cow horn pill. Pu Yufeng collected his emotions and actually became respectful and fearful of Yi Mo. He said carefully, when Li Qianbei was with association leader Yi, she was only golden core state tertiary stage power but reached nascent soul state in a short time. Not long ago, manager Li reached nascent soul state too. Yi Mo understood this and began to frown. If Pu Yufeng could think of this, other people could as well. But then Yi Mo thought if he could even kill hollow spirit state cultivators, why would he care about other golden core state and nascent soul state cultivators? Pu Yufeng got up and saluted with his fists to Yi Mo association leader. Yi, I will get the disaster transformation state cultivator to find you as quickly as possible. Yi Mo nodded and sent Pu Yufeng away. He was desperate to go to South Peace State, but even if he got the recommendation it would only be for him alone. He was very conflicted. At the door, Pu Yufeng suddenly turned around and said to Yi Mo association leader Yi, if the people who came before from the Yang High Merchant Association can't leave then you don't need to worry because the association leader Yang Yukang had gone to South Peace State. He won't be back for a few years. There are only 2 nascent soul state cultivators here now. Thank you. Yi Mo heard this and breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed he didn't need to worry. After a few years, with his supply of pills, who's to say that Mo Yu wouldn't have their own hollow spirit state? As the conflict between Mo Yu and Yang High Merchant Association was still being discussed, Mo Yu suddenly started doing business and shone light on something unexpected. That was that Yang High Merchant Association took a hollow spirit state and 5 nascent soul state as well as 5 golden core state cultivators and robbed Mo Yu's leader's belongings. This shook everyone's minds, but no one doubted it as it was recorded on a crystal ball. The item's name was removed, but everyone knew that it was precious and that's why the name was removed. In this instance, Peihai City was in an uproar. A hollow spirit state went up and robbed a golden core state cultivator's things, and said so what if he robbed what he wanted? Yang High Merchant Association's fame was instantly degraded. This wasn't the end. Mo Yu also brought up a condition. That was that Yang High Merchant Association must compensate and apologize to Mo Yu. They must give up their land and compensate him with 100 million spirit stones. How dare a newly emerged merchant association dare to ask for this and kick Yang High Merchant Association out of Peihai? But things weren't so simple. Soon, people noticed that the 11 cultivators who went into Mo Yu hadn't appeared since then. Immediately, Mo Yu became very mysterious. Chapter 1002, Coming to the Door. Chapter 1002, Coming to the Door. The news that a hollow spirit state cultivator robbed something from a golden core state cultivator was now publicly spread. However, that hollow spirit state cultivator didn't come to rebuke the accusations and hadn't emerged after entering Mo Yu. The reason for this was clear: that hollow spirit state cultivator was silently done in by Mo Yu. No power faction dared to underestimate an entity that could quietly kill a hollow spirit state cultivator. Plus, that hollow spirit state cultivator had brought 5 nascent soul state cultivators along as well. People were guessing how powerful Mo Yu really was. After all, they could even kill a hollow spirit state cultivator. This caused people to begin to fear Mo Yu. Hollow spirit state cultivator weren't considered anything in the South Peace state, but in the North Far state, they were the top of the food chain. Are you sure that he never came out after going to Mo Yu? A middle-aged man at the City Lord estate asked a manager-like cultivator. That manager replied respectfully, "Yes, I'm sure." When he went to Mo Yu, people from Mo Yu immediately came to ask for help. I told them that we couldn't intervene in this according to your will. They didn't say much and immediately left. Interesting. The middle-aged man narrowed his eyes. This was the second time that he said this golden core state cultivator was interesting. Hearing this, the manager asked carefully, "Then should we go to Mo Yu to check on the situation?" The middle-aged man didn't say anything but asked after a while, "You said that they recorded the robbery and made the conditions for Yang High Merchant Association to leave Peihai City as well as compensate them 100 million top-grade spirit stones?" "Yes." The manager nodded quickly. The middle-aged man nodded and said, "In that case we don't need to be hasty. A mere golden core state cultivator killed a hollow spirit state cultivator with his formations. It's not bad, but it's not worth us going to visit him. Wait for a while and see how Yang High Merchant Association deals with this situation." As soon as he said this, a seductive-looking woman came in and reported, "City Lord, Manager Wang, Yang High Merchant Association's people are asking to see you." The middle-aged man laughed and said, "Tell them what we told Mo Yu before." Then he paused and said to Manager Wang, "Investigate that Yi Mo. Why does this name sound familiar?" The Yang High Merchant Association people didn't come for revenge, but they didn't agree to Mo Yu's conditions. Yi Mo didn't go up to Yang High Merchant Association to ask them for reparations because he knew that they still had 2 nascent soul state cultivators. One was the nascent soul state level 3 they met outside the city and the other was nascent soul state level 2. Even if Yi Mo wanted to go up to them, he needed to wait for a while until Li Jingwen and Li Yuqian reached nascent soul state level 2 or level 3. They had soul essence pills and blue carrot pills. It wouldn't take much time. Things seemed to go back to how they were before, the only difference being that Mo Yu was still the same while Yang High Merchant Association was shrinking down their business. Yi Mo went into solitary cultivation again. This time it wasn't for pill concoction, he wanted to break through. He had 9 Heaven Glory pills and wanted to get to Golden Core State peak stage as quickly as possible. In Mo Qianli's storage ring, there was a Heaven-grade Evil Soul Strand cultivation method and a few extreme-grade materials, but he didn't even have 1 million top-grade spirit stones. Yimo glanced through the cultivation method. It used evil ways of cultivating live souls. Each soul strand the cultivator got was formed from countless innocent people. When he fought Mo Qianli, he had countless evil soul strands. From this, one could see how many innocent lives he had taken. Yimo hated these evil cultivation methods the most. He turned it into dust and cursed Mo Qianli for being so poor. However, Ao Chilong's storage ring shook Yimo greatly. There were more than 2 million top-grade spirit stones and large amounts of pills. Yimo thought, this young master of the Ao Cheng Merchant Association was really wealthy. But when he saw the hollow spirit state storage ring, he realized Ao Chilong's storage ring was just loose change in front of it. It had more than 50 million top-grade spirit stones. Yimo estimated that this storage ring was like Kai Hong's. It contained the majority of the Yanghai Merchant Association's wealth. In addition to this, Yimo found a level 7 fire dragon rune. This made Yimo rejoice. Such a rune could kill nascent soul state primary stage cultivators and even defend against nascent soul state tertiary stage cultivators. It was very useful to Yimo. The spirit herbs were also level 5 and level 6. After organizing these things, Yimo started to eat the Heaven Glory pills to cultivate. He could feel the difference immediately between these ones and the ones he had made with spirit crystals. There was much more spirit energy and none of it was volatile. It flowed like water. After eating this pill, it started unblocking his meridians and increasing his power. It wasn't as fast as the spirit crystal pills, but it didn't have any side effects. A month later, Yimo had reached Golden Core State Level 6. He consolidated his power a little and heard someone had come to visit. He knew that it must be someone important as he ordered that he wasn't to be disturbed during his solitary cultivation. An old man in his 60s sat in the guest reception room. Yimo could feel a strong pressure as soon as he came in. The old man didn't even move. "You're Yimo?" The old man saw Yimo and asked plainly. His expression seemed a little disappointed. It was a hollow spirit state cultivator, but he seemed much stronger than the hollow spirit state from Yanghai Merchant Association. Yimo felt this person was at least hollow spirit state tertiary stage or even peak stage. "That's right, I'm Yimo. What business does Qian Bei have with me?" Yimo asked slowly. The old man nodded and said, "You're the new pill concoction Hall of Fame #1, the pill master who created the spirit weaving pill by adding the spirit attraction grass into pill concoction." Yimo sat down and looked calmly at this old man and said, "It's me." The old man saw that Yimo didn't seem worried at all and faced him, a hollow spirit state cultivator, calmly, and his disappointment retreated a little. "Not bad, you're so young, but you can think of using the spirit Kai whirlpool to add the spirit attraction grass into pill to create the spirit weaving pill. This is very significant." The old man nodded and took out a herb and placed it in front of Yimo. "Do you know what this spirit herb is?" "Level 7 spirit herb, spirit recovery vine." Yimo recognized it immediately. It was the main ingredient for the spirit recovery pill. It was also very hard to add it to a pill. Therefore, rarely anyone could concoct the spirit recovery pill. This vine was very precious. It was almost like a level 8 spirit herb. This person took this out, meaning that without question, he wanted to ask if Yimo could concoct the spirit recovery pill. Before reading thing, Yimo had thought that this was the main ingredient for the spirit recovery pill, but after reading it, he learned that the real ingredient was the 10,000-year stalagmite marrow, but it was too rare, so people replaced it with this vine. "Very well, you know a lot. If you use your unique technique, would you be able to add the spirit recovery vine into pill and concoct the spirit recovery pill?" the old man asked in joy. Chapter 1003, City Lord Visit. Chapter 1003, City Lord Visit. Yimo took back his gaze and said calmly, "That's right, I can concoct the spirit recovery pill. But what does this have to do with Qian Bei?" The old hollow spirit state cultivator was dazed. Clearly Yimo called him Qian Bei not because he was scared of him or respected him, but only because his power level was higher. But the old man rejoiced immediately. He didn't get angry at all. He didn't expect this pill concoction Hall of Fame #1 to be really able to concoct the spirit recovery pill. This was too unexpected. Although it was said that only a level 3 pill king could concoct the spirit recovery pill, perhaps with his unique pill concoction means, Yimo might succeed despite being only a level 1 pill king. Thinking about this, the hollow spirit state cultivator got up and said, I'm Wang Yu sect Su Jianhu. I came to Pei Hai City just to visit Pill Master Yi. Your fame is indeed true, you can really concoct the spirit recovery pill. Our sect leader wants to invite you to be a guest at Wang Yu Peak. Hearing this, Yimo immediately understood what was going on. Wang Yu sect was the one of 2 8-star sects in North Far State. The sect leader Shan She was said to be disaster transformation state power. The news they got was probably spread by Pu Yufeng. This Pu Yufeng really had some capability. If he succeeded in this pill concoction, then this spot of recommendation would be no problem at all. But this Pu Yufeng really thought highly of him. Not everyone could concoct the spirit recovery pill. It was after all a heaven grade level 3 pill. The heaven grade level 3 pill didn't mean that level 3 pill kings could concoct them. Sometimes, even level 7 pill king wouldn't be able to concoct them. The main reason was the scarcity of the spirit recovery vine. Seeing that Yimo didn't say anything, Su Jianhu suddenly said, I heard that Pill Master Yi wants to go develop in the South Peace State. If you can help Wang Yu sect concoct a spirit recovery pill, that spot won't be a problem. Yimo saw that they brought it up first and realized that they must really be desperate for the spirit recovery pill. Pu Yufeng probably spread out the news that he wanted to go to the South Peace State. Yimo nodded. That's right, I want to go to the South Peace State. However, I don't just want one spot, I want 4 to 5. Su Jianhe heard this and his face changed. Without a second thought he said, that's impossible. Even if the 3 disaster transformation state cultivators of North Far State give their recommendations together, they wouldn't have that many spots. Our sect leader has only gotten 1 spot over these 3 years. Plus, if just the recommendations weren't enough, the cost to activate the formation is insanely expensive. The activation cost. Yimo was just a level 5 formation great master, but he knew that the longer the distance, the greater the cost. The teleportation formation he set up for Pei Hai City cost 2 extreme grade spirit stones. From North Far State to South Peace State, Yimo believed it would require at least a level 9 formation. That was something only a formation grandmaster could build. But didn't they say that everyone needed to pay only 1 million spirit stones? As though knowing what Yimo was thinking, Su Jianhu sneered. Do you think 1 million spirit stones is enough for one trip? According to what I know, it costs 9 extreme grade spirit stones to teleport once from North Far State to South Peace State, plus 100 low grade crystals. 1 million top grade spirit stones? That's not even enough to pay for the use of one type of material. Yimo was shocked. He knew that teleportation formation needed spirit stones to provide spirit power, but he had never heard that there would be such materials used. If teleportation formations were like this, then how many materials would be wasted with all these teleportation formations in the cultivation realm? Yimo had only collected 5 extreme grade spirit stones up to this point. He had used 2 to set up the formation. As for spirit crystals, he only had the ones he found in the spirit marrow pond in the herb plain. Each teleportation cost 100 of those. And now, Yimo realized there were also grades for spirit crystals. Even low-grade spirit crystals weren't so easy to find. You don't understand formations, so you don't know why. Su Jianhu sighed. If it was an ordinary formation, there wouldn't be so much waste, but the interstate distance is too far and it's a level 9 formation. The top cultivators of North Far State and South Peace State spent years to finish making it and used countless materials. This is the limit. After all, the best formation grandmasters in South Peace State are only level 9, Su Jianhu said. Yimo thought of the teleportation formation in the small world. It could teleport people to any location on Luo Yu continent. How much materials and spirit stones would that use up? But no one in the small world would change spirit stones nor materials. The only explanation that remained was that it was of a much higher level than the teleportation formation here. What teleportation formation could teleport so many times and not use any spirit stones to activate? What power did it use? Mo really couldn't comprehend what would be more precious than extreme-grade spirit stones and what formation would be higher than level A9 formation. Perhaps he hadn't yet reached that level and that was why he didn't know. Mo shook his head and stopped thinking about it, but one thing was for sure, it was already a huge gain that he could get one spot. But Mo grew more suspicious of the teleportation formation. For them to pay such a cost to teleport some geniuses to South Peace State, there must be some hidden motive, but he didn't know what. He knew it was useless to ask Su Jianhu. There's only one spot to South Peace State, but if you have any other requests I can help you a little, Su Jianhu said again. Mo knew that this was the best offer he could get. I'm going to South Peace State but I'm worried about Mo Yu. Many people aren't happy with Mo Yu. I don't know if people will come looking for trouble after I leave. Mo then looked at Su Jianhu. Su Jianhu heard this and laughed. This is an easy matter. I already know about your complications. I've sent people to warn the Yang High Merchant Association. Perhaps the people warning them have come back already. Then, Zhen Xiaoshan came in and informed Mo that Yang High Merchant Association had left Peihai City and compensated Mo Yu with 100 million spirit stones. There was another piece of news, the city lord of Peihai Qi Ziyu had come to visit. Mo was speechless. This was dominance, the benefit of being powerful. While he was still worrying about the Yang High Merchant Association, it was only a minor issue to Su Jianhu. But the 8-star sect indeed had to the right to say such words. It was said that the city lord Qi Ziyu was already a hollow spirit state tertiary stage, but he was willing to lower himself by visiting Mo Yu. Clearly, this was due to the 8-star sect. Please come in and have a seat, City Lord Qi. Mo didn't go out to greet him. He didn't have a good impression of this Qi Ziyu and only wanted to make sure not to offend him. He didn't help them at all when the Yang High Merchant Association sent people to come oppress Mo Yu. From this, he could tell that this city lord was no different than Jag Chengfeng at River State. Mo wasn't looking down on this type of person, but they just weren't worth connecting with. Qi Ziyu stood outside uneasily. He had just found out Mo was the Pill Concoction Hall of Fame #1 and now Su Jianhu had come to visit him. If he had known this earlier, he would have tried to send people to connect with Mo even if Wang Yu sect hadn't come to visit. Unfortunately, he didn't take note and missed the best opportunity. Qi Ziyu knew now was a bad time to come, but he had no choice. Chapter 1004, Arrangements Before Departure. Chapter 1004, Arrangements Before Departure. If he had tried to connect to Mo Yu right at the start it would have been really effective, but now it was just extra. With Wang Yu sect as their support, who would dare to antagonize Mo Yu? Mo saw Qi Ziyu and felt a sense of familiarity. He had cultivated a spirit sense cultivation method and felt this person's spirit sense seemed to have checked on him before. But in the end, this Qi Ziyu was a city lord and he was still in Peihai City. Mo got up and saluted with his fists. Qi Qianbei. Mo was very busy and was unable to pay city lord a visit. Your visit today greatly humbles me. But both Mo and Qi Ziyu knew that even if he had gone, he wouldn't get to see Qi Ziyu. Su Jianhu viewed Mo differently now. With Mo's astute mind, he thought Mo would subtly hint that Wang Yu sect was supporting Mo Yu now, but Mo didn't say anything at all. Association leader Yi is indeed young and successful. You're so young but already the Pill Concoction Hall of Fame #1. Qi Ziyu regrets for visiting late. Then, Qi Ziyu saluted with his fists to Su Jianhu and said, You must be Elder Su of the 8-star sect Wang Yu sect, greetings. Haha, Su Jianhu greeted casually. He didn't need to be very polite to Qi Ziyu. If it wasn't on Mo's account, he wouldn't even see Qi Ziyu at all. So what if he was a hollow spirit state tertiary stage like himself? Peihai City was famous, but if Wang Yu sect wanted to annihilate it, it would just be the wave of a hand. Mo didn't say anything afterwards. Su Jianhu saw this and could only say, I came to ask Pill Master Yi for help. From now on, Mo Yu's business will be Wang Yu sect's business. Mo Yu is in Peihai City, please help them out a little, City Lord Qi. No problem, no problem. Qi Ziyu was waiting for these words. He immediately said to Mo, Pill Master Yi, from now on, Mo Yu's business is also Pei Hai City's business. If there's any problem, just come to me. Yi Mo was also waiting for this. Only with both the Wang Yu sect and Pei Hai City's support could rest easy and go to South Peace State. In that case, thank you Elder Su and City Lord Qi. If I go to South Peace State, then please look after Mo Yu a little. Yi Mo got up and saluted with his fists. Hearing this, Qi Ziyu breathed a sigh of relief. He was also astonished that Yi Mo actually had the right to go South Peace State. Clearly, the Wang Yu sect leader was going to recommend him. He breathed easy because Yi Mo didn't ask Su Jianhu to help attack Pei Hai City and instead asked him for help. Yi Mo took out that stalagmite marrow wine and poured 3 cups. This is the kettle that Li Ruhe wanted to rob. Qi Ziyu saw it and immediately recognized it. Stalagmite marrow wine. Both Su Jianhu and Qi Ziyu said this at the same time. You have 10,000-year stalagmite marrow wine? Su Jianhu looked at Yi Mo in shock. Even truth realization state cultivators would want such a thing, much less himself. Qi Ziyu finally realized why Li Ruhe wanted to rob Yi Mo's items. Even he wanted to rob them. Yi Mo sneered, this was the reality indeed. If Su Jianhu wasn't here to ask him for help and this Qi Ziyu wasn't scared of Wang Yu sect, perhaps these two would start fighting over it. But Yi Mo took out the wine after careful thought. Now that the two asked, Yi Mo nodded, yes, this is indeed wine made from 10,000-year stalagmite marrow. Yi Mo continued, when I was still in foundation establishment state, I got 5 drops of 10,000-year stalagmite marrow. What, you got those 5 drops? Qi Ziyu was shaken and Su Jianhu also had a look of realization. Yi Mo said with a blank look, I don't know what's good about it. I used 2 drops to ferment a kettle of wine, the remaining 3 drops are here. Both of them got up immediately upon hearing this. They knew how precious the 10,000-year stalagmite marrow was. Both wanted to ask Yi Mo for it, but when they thought of the price they could only sit back down. 1 drop for 100 million. Even if they could gather 300 million spirit stones, it would hurt them greatly. Plus, it was too hard to gather up enough. The two finished their cups and felt that their power had increased a level. Both of them knew that this wasn't just an illusion, the wine remedied the pill poison in their body. Cultivators were scared of pill poison the most. If you didn't want to accumulate pill poison, you would have to not eat pills, but if you didn't eat pills it was impossible to reach higher cultivation levels no matter how talented you were. The higher level the pill the less the pill poison, but the harder to remove as well. Without pill poison, anyone could just eat a bunch of pills and reach truth realization state, but that was impossible. Yi Mo knew the opportunity was right and he suddenly looked at Su Jianhu. Elder Su, the real main ingredient of the spirit recovery pill isn't spirit recovery vine, but people couldn't find that last main ingredient so they used the spirit recovery vine as a substitute. But due to this, the effects are greatly weakened and there's also a side effect. Su Jianhu couldn't calm down anymore. He asked in a stutter, that means, even if you concoct the spirit recovery pill, it's... Qi Ziyu just realized that Wang Yu sect came here asking Yi Mo to concoct the spirit recovery pill. Yi Mo smiled and said, Elder Su, don't worry, let me finish first. When Su Jianhu calmed down again, Yi Mo said, Wang Yu sect is asking for a spirit recovery pill because someone's spirit sense got injured and the damage is irreparable. That's right. Su Jianhu nodded numbly. Yi Mo nodded as well. Although the real ingredient isn't the spirit recovery vine, I know what the real ingredient is. What is it? Su Jianhu asked directly. The 10,000-year stalagmite marrow. But don't worry, I still have 3 drops so I can concoct a cauldron of spirit recovery pills. Qi Ziyu immediately looked disappointed. He was planning to use other things to exchange for some stalagmite marrow, but now it was going to be used for pill concoction. Hearing this, Su Jianhu looked happy again, but he immediately thought of something and looked at Yi Mo awkwardly. That way, we will owe Pill Master Yi too much. Yi Mo thought to himself, I said this much just so you can owe me more. Yi Mo laughed and said, Elder Su, you're being too polite. After I leave Pei Hai, I still need Elder Su to help look after Mo Yu. Su Jianhu finally understood what Yi Mo meant and patted his chest. Pill Master Yi, don't worry. My sect will arrange for a hollow spirit state elder to come here and protect Mo Yu for a few decades. That's not necessary. If you could just look after Mo Yu for 10 years, I would be very grateful, Yimo got up and said. Yimo believed that with his resources, Li Yuqian would be able to reach hollow spirit state in 10 years' time. Qi Ziyu also got up and said, Pill Master Yi, don't worry. Mo Yu will be very safe in Pei Hai. With both sides promising this, Yimo finally felt assured. He took out another kettle and split the wine in half, giving one portion to each of the two cultivators. Both were immediately very grateful. Qi Ziyu not only got connected to Wang Yu's sect but acquired the wine as well, so he left happily. Meanwhile, Su Jianhu stayed behind to wait for Yimo's pill concoction. Chapter 1005, Skyrocketing Power. Chapter 1005, Skyrocketing Power. Yimo made 9 spirit recovery pills in one cauldron. Of course, he didn't use all 3 drops of 10,000-year stalagmite marrow. He didn't use the pills he had made before because he knew that hollow spirit state cultivators were very sensitive to pills. They could tell if the pill was made recently or some time ago. 3 spirit recovery pills? Su Jianhu's hands were shaking when he held the bottle Yimo gave him. He only needed 1 but he got 3. With his experience, he could tell these were freshly made as well. Yimo didn't mind giving a few extra pills to him. What he really cared about was whether Wang Yu's sect would do their best to help Mo Yu. If he did this much and Wang Yu's sect still didn't help, then they would be too selfish. You're indeed a pill king. Su Jianhu looked at Yimo with even more shock. Such a young pill king, it was indeed the first time he had seen this. Even Cheng Yejuan, who won first place many times, was only a level 1 pill king. However, Yimo could concoct the spirit recovery pill at such a young age. Was he a level 3 pill king? Yimo smiled. The spirit recovery pill is indeed a heaven grade level 3 pill, but that's only because it needs 10,000-year stalagmite marrow. Even a level 1 pill king would be able to concoct it. He didn't say what level pill king he was. Even though Wang Yu's sect was forming a relationship with him, that was just because they needed him. Who knows what would happen if they knew he was level 3 or level 4 pill king? So that's it. Su Jianhu breathed easy. He thought Yimo was at most a level 1 pill king and had a unique method of concoction. If Yimo was a level 3 pill king at such a young age, it would be too much to handle. Becoming a level 1 pill king at such an age was already very rare. Even if the Wang Yu sect leader's wife wasn't injured, Yimo was worth establishing a connection with. Ever since the Yanghai Merchant Association incident, Mo Yu was able to consolidate their position in Pei Hai. Some rather powerful solo cultivators came to join them and Mo Yu's business started to expand. In addition, Mo Yu and the City Lord Estate joined together to hold 2 auctions that even had the Spirit Weaving Pill and Blue Wen Pill. These pills shocked the entirety of Pei Hai, and Mo Yu's name spread rapidly. But Yimo didn't let Mo Yu get involved in coastal business. He didn't want to cause trouble with the Ao Chang Merchant Association. The Spirit Weaving Pill and Blue Wen Pill were enough for Mo Yu to establish their Poisitan in Pei Hai. Only Yimo could concoct the Spirit Weaving Pill. Yimo didn't intend Mo Yu to be the biggest merchant association in North Far State yet. If he had really wanted that, he wouldn't be selling the Spirit Weaving Pill and Blue Wen Pill. He would instead sell Foundation Establishment Pills, Cultivation Increasing Pills, and Soul Condensation Pills. But Yimo knew that even in Pei Hai, if he hadn't reached a certain level of power, he shouldn't sell these pills openly. Even for the Spirit Recovery Pill, Yimo had to create this influence by drawing out the 5 drops of 10,000-year stalagmite marrow. Otherwise, there would also be trouble. Mo Yu was on the right track now. Song Yangzhu, Yi Ling, and the others didn't spend much time conducting business. They spent more time on cultivation. They knew that Yimo was going to South Peace State soon. Song Yangzhu didn't want Yimo to go, but she knew what Yimo was thinking. Things here were settled and Yimo was worried about Luo Ying and the others in South Peace State. If she wanted to go to South Peace State earlier, then she had to work hard to cultivate and reach Hollow Spirit State in a short time, and then it would be fine. Su Jingwen and Yi Ling also thought the same. Even Li Yuqian and Jin Xiaoshan thought like this. The South Peace State's cultivation resources were clearly much better than those of North Far State. With the support of Yi Mo, a level 4 pill king, they would cultivate even faster. Su Jingwen wanted to sleep with Yi Mo after reaching Foundation Establishment State, but after learning that Yi Mo was going to South Peace State, she gave up on the thought. Her talent was astounding and her hidden spirit root had been activated. If she stayed a virgin, she would be cultivating even faster. She didn't know when Yi Mo would be back, so she had to reach Hollow Spirit State as quickly as possible so she could go to South Peace State and meet Yi Mo. Su Jingwen believed that with her talent, it wouldn't take long for her to reach Hollow Spirit State. Mo Yu formed this cultivation trend. Everyone who had been in Mo Yu from the beginning was cultivating like crazy. No one wanted to waste time. Yi Mo went into solitary cultivation again. He had to reach Golden Core State peak stage before going to South Peace State. Yi Mo just went into the Golden Page world and started to concoct Heaven Glory pills on the spirit range. Gradually, Mo Yu made the Pei Hai region wealthier than the border region. Pei Hai City's population was increasing drastically due to the interstate teleportation formation. There was a level 8 spirit gathering formation on the side to support the operation of the teleportation formation. Even an 8-star sect might not have such a spirit gathering formation. Level 8 spirit gathering formations were beneficial to you even if you didn't go inside. Due to the rise of Mo Yu, Pei Hai City became a lot more stable. Mo Yu's prices were very fair and they never abused the weak. Half a year later, Yi Mo had completely spirit refined 3 Heaven Glory pills and reached Golden Core State level 9. Yi Mo thought he would be able to reach Golden Core State peak stage after 3 months. However, he underestimated his requirement for Spirit Kai. Even with such powerful pills and sitting on a spirit range, he still took half a year to go from Golden Core State level 6 to level 9. Yi Mo came out and found that other than Song Yangzhu who was waiting for him, Su Jingwen and Yi Ling were all in solitary cultivation. Li Yuqian never even came out at all. "Are you leaving?" Song Yangzhu saw Yi Mo come out and looked a little sad. She didn't have much progress in cultivation and had only reached Golden Core State level 2. Yi Mo nodded and said, "Come take a walk with me." Yi Mo and Song Yangzhu walked on the busy streets, but Song Yangzhu seemed to be in a bad mood. "Jingwen and Yi Ling are both in solitary cultivation. Why didn't you do that as well?" Yi Mo broke the heavy atmosphere. Song Yangzhu said in a low voice, "I'm afraid if I went into solitary cultivation, I wouldn't be able to see you for the last time." Yi Mo remained silent for a few moments before saying assuringly, "Yangzhu, don't worry. I won't stay in South Peace State for too long before coming back to bring you all there. There's a lot of things North Far State doesn't have, but who's to say South Peace State doesn't have them? Perhaps one day, I will be able to find a flying ship that can even cross the Heartless Sea." Then Yi Mo said, "Pei Hai City won't be a place we will be staying at for long. This is a branch of ours but not our own city. Perhaps one day, we will have our own city, Mo Yu City." Chapter 1006, The Figure in the Depths of His Mind. Chapter 1006, The Figure in the Depths of His Mind. "Yi Mo, I suddenly miss Luo Yu City. When can we go back to visit?" Song Yangzhu asked. Yi Mo was leaving Pei Hai. Without Yi Mo she felt very hollow. Yi Mo grabbed Song Yangzhu's hand tightly. He suddenly realized what she meant. She wasn't missing Luo Yu City but missing him. He didn't dare to mention Yi Mo. Sometimes Song Yangzhu looked very strong, but she was actually more brittle than Song Yangzhu or Yi Ling Yangzhu. "I promise you I will be back by your side soon and take all of you with me. When our power is very high, perhaps we can go back to Luo Yu City." "I miss it as well," Yi Mo said. Yi Mo said that, but he knew it would be very hard to go back to Luo Yu City. So what if he reached truth realization state? A level 9 teleportation formation could only teleport the distance of the Heartless Sea. Yi Mo really suspected that the teleportation formation from Small World to Luo Yu wasn't made by cultivators of the cultivation realm. Yi Ling was here but she still had a brother Yi Zifeng. She never said anything about him, but Yi Mo could tell she missed him a lot but just didn't want to say it. At this moment, she even thought of Yun Bing. How were they now? And Wen Dong, has she realized her goals? How was Xu Ping? Would that Dongfang Wang be doing anything? Huang Yinian should be able to stop him, right? Zheng Zhengxia, Han Zixin, Xiao Lei, Sister Yang, Yu Erhu, Yu Miaodan, Shishio. Countless familiar faces flashed across Yimo's eyes, and Yimo suddenly felt a little morose. After how many years would he be able to go back there? Would they still be there when he returned? Finally, an image cleared in his mind. It was Luo Xian. Yimo just realized that he hadn't been constantly thinking about her, but her figure had taken root in his mind. The girl who jumped off the 12th floor with him, perhaps it was the sentence that she said that made Yimo remember her. I just didn't want Brother Yi to be disappointed again. That's all. Perhaps I owe her. Yimo murmured. He had got the golden page world because of her. She gave him 2 of the 3 golden pages. She even hid them from her 2 sisters. When Luo Xian fell of Shuangsha Cliff, he went searching for her countless times but still couldn't find her. The golden page world's use for him was obvious. If it wasn't for it, he would have died so many times already. If it wasn't for the golden page world, he wouldn't have 3 birth chant and wouldn't be able to reach where he was today. His achievements today were closely related to Luo Xian. Yet after all that, he couldn't even find her body. Yimo sighed and feel even more despondent. Sensing this, Song Yangzhu leaned against Yimo and held his arm saying, "Is there something you're worrying about?" He was about to leave. Yimo opened his eyes and cast the depressing thoughts aside. He grabbed Song Yangzhu and said, "Yangzhu, don't worry. I will come back as soon as I can to take you guys with me. Stay here and cultivate, don't worry about me." This was the 3rd time he had said this to Song Yangzhu. Yimo made up his mind that he was going to build a place that belonged to him so that his friends and family could gather together without the need to roam around. I believe you. Song Yangzhu wanted Yimo to be happy when he left. Yangzhu, I'm about to go. I'm not going to say goodbye to Jingwen and the rest. Tell them that I will be back soon. Yimo wanted to see them before he left, but he knew farewells were hard. It would affect their mood if he said goodbye now while they were working hard to cultivate. Song Yangzhu nodded and said softly, "Do you have enough spirit stones?" "Mo Yu has a lot of spirit stones now. Do you need to take some?" Yimo shook his head. He had more than 100 million spirit stones. Mo Yu only had about that amount as well, and this was due to the Yang High Merchant Association's compensation. The two didn't talk anymore and just felt the warmth of each other's company. Although this was a very busy street, both of them felt the peace at the bottom of their hearts. Suddenly, some rustling disturbed their serenity. Yimo looked up and saw that 1 man and woman had been stopped by 3 Foundation Establishment State Tertiary Stage cultivators. The man and woman looked worried, not knowing how to deal with the situation. Yimo was shocked to find that he actually knew that woman. It was that Yu Yuyen he met in that town. She was a very calculative woman who had planned to use Yimo as a scapegoat, but Yimo didn't let her do so. "It's you. Yimo." Yu Yuyen recognized Yimo and called out in joy, but then, she remembered the nature of their relationship. However, that desire to get help was still there. At Yimo's status, he wouldn't hold a grudge against her, but it was impossible for him to help her. "Don't talk Yimo or Mo Yi with me. I don't give a shit who he is. No matter who comes today, you have to spit out what you ate." The Foundation Establishment State Level 9 cultivator stared coldly at Yu Yuyen. Page. Song Yangzhu wasn't happy that this Foundation Establishment State had attacked Yimo such a temper. The Foundation Establishment State cultivator heard this and turned around, glaring coldly at Yimo. But before he could finish what he was going to say, he was stopped by his friend. The friend pulled him to the side and bowed to Song Yangzhu. "Wn Bei Zhu Changtian greets Mo Yu's Song Qian Bei." That Foundation Establishment State heard the words Mo Yu and his face changed. He thought of what he had just said and his face went pale. "You 3 are quite cocky. Who gave you the balls to start trouble in Pei Hai? Piss off now or you will never need to leave again," another cold voice sounded. Then, that voice bowed to Yimo, Pei Hai City Lord Estate Wang Di Greet Association Leader Yi. The 3 heard Wang Di's words and their face turned as pale as corpses. No matter what they did, usually someone as big as Wang Di would never care, But today the manager Wang of Peihai City was intervening in such small matters. Just then, the three realized that the youth with Song Yangzhu was someone even manager Wang greeted with respect. No matter how dumb they were, they realized that this youth was the mysterious association leader of Mo Yu. So it's manager Wang, nice meeting you. Yi Mo saluted with his fists. He didn't really like this manager Wang, but he was leaving and Mo Yu was still here. It was best not to offend the manager of Peihai City. It's an honor to see association leader Yi. How should I deal with these three? Wang Di knew that Yi Mo didn't offend him due to him being the city manager, but it was very easy for Yi Mo to kill him as he had the support of Wang Yu sect. Yi Mo shook his head, he really wasn't interested in these people. Hurry up and piss off. Wang Di yelled before he said to Yu Yuyan, girl, if you need any help just ask. He thought Yu Yuyan knew Yi Mo, so sucking up to Yu Yuyan was sucking up to Yi Mo. Yu Yuyan shook her head and walked up to Yi Mo, thanks for helping, sorry about before. Eventually, she didn't even know what she was saying and just turned to run. She didn't even call her friend. Manager Wang didn't know what was going on so he didn't say anything. Yi Mo wasn't going to care about her as well. He bid farewell to manager Wang and took Song Yangzhu to the teleportation formation. Chapter 1007. Arrive at South Peace State but hard to get into Black Ice. Chapter 1007. Arrive at South Peace State but hard to get into Black Ice Golden Core State level. You were recommended. Yi Mo had just left the teleportation formation and was feeling a little dizzy when a voice asked these questions. Yi Mo noticed that there were 5 cultivators in front of him and each one seemed very powerful. Even the weakest of them was stronger than Hollow Spirit State. Yi Mo could only tell that one was Body Condensation State peak, the rest were beyond Body Condensation State. Yi Mo took in a cold breath. This was South Peace State? Such dense spirit Kai, such powerful cultivators. Yes, WN Bei. Yi Mo greets Chen Beis. Yi Mo felt he was weaker than an ant with this absolute difference in power. They only needed to lift a finger to kill him. No matter how powerful South Peace State was, they couldn't have this many high-level cultivators, right? He had just arrived and had already seen 4 guys above Body Condensation State. Spirit root seems very impure, how can someone like him be recommended? An old man looked at Yi Mo and shook his head. What spirit root are you? Why were you recommended? Another cultivator asked just to confirm. He didn't even have the interest to test Yi Mo. Yi Mo realized that South Peace State wasn't a place where there was an abundance of Body Condensation State cultivators. These people were here to see if the arrival was a genius disciple that had been teleported here. If it was, then they might take him away. Yi Mo didn't want to go to those sects and become a core disciple, so he immediately said respectfully, I have a fire and wood dual spirit root, but because I had a good relationship with the disaster transformation state Qian Bei, I was able to get his recommendation. Indeed it must be so. I knew that those North Far State disaster transformation state cultivators would use their authority for private needs. This one spot is going to waste. How many spirit crystals and materials have been lost? The cultivator asking this was clearly not welcoming of Yi Mo's arrival. Brother Han, these situations are unavoidable. It's just one spot, plus the people sent over from North Far State before were pretty much all genius disciples. The youngest cultivator came out and said. Then he said to Yi Mo, you can go. You have double spirit root, you have no right to enter a 9-star sect. North Far State is not the same as South Peace State. Although it's not easy to reach Golden Core State at your age, here your own. Yi Mo immediately saluted with his fists and thanked them a few times before leaving. Qi Liang Dao friend, how come I feel this little guy isn't quite what he seems? The cultivator who had spoken first said. What's wrong with him? Is it because he's at Golden Core State at this age? It happens a lot in North Far State. Many wealthy merchant association would cultivate a genius and use a lot of pills, but they don't consider the pill poison. I don't need to look to know that kid has too much pill poison in his body. He would be lucky to even reach Hollow Spirit State, answered another cauldron filling state cultivator. He's quick to run, I'm afraid he might not even get into Hollow Spirit State. Even if he doesn't have any pill poison, his spirit root has decided that he can't reach higher cultivation states, another cultivator said. At this moment, Yimo was already thousands of kilometers away. He would definitely be one of the cultivators with the least pill poison. Even those cultivators who didn't concoct pills knew the threat of pill poison. They would try to refine pill poison or remedy pills every once in a while. He was a pill king and he knew better than anyone. Not everyone had the 10,000-year stalagmite marrow, while he had at least half a bucket. Only after Yimo had left their spirit sense range did he dare to land. He found that this was also a cultivation city, but it was more than 10 times larger than Peihai City. Yimo asked a few cultivators and learned that although this place was in South Peace State, it was still hundreds of thousands of kilometers from South Peace City. This place was called Mohai City. It was surrounded by the sea but had a very large area. The teleportation formation from North Far State to South Peace State was built here. There were quite a lot of people in the city. Yimo found that there were quite a few hollow spirit state cultivators. As for those in the nascent soul state and golden core state, they were everywhere. Reaching golden core state peak stage at Yimo's age was all too ordinary. Yimo walked into a shop and wanted to ask someone about the Black Ice sect when an attendant with a smiling face greeted him, saying, "Friend, what do you need?" The shop wasn't small and there were already a few golden core state and nascent soul state cultivators window shopping. "I want to ask where the Black Ice sect is," Yimo asked. "You want to ask about Black Ice sect?" The attendant was dazed. Everyone knew that Black Ice sect was at Black Ice Mountain. Was there a need to ask? Yimo saw this attendant's surprise and quickly explained, "It's like this, I have a friend there and I want to go visit him, but I've never been to Black Ice sect so I'm just asking." "You still want to go to Black Ice sect?" The attendant was even more shocked. "Ha ha." People started laughing and turned to look at Yimo as though he was much interesting than the objects inside the display glasses. "Did I hear right? You want to go to Black Ice sect to find your friend?" A golden core state tertiary stage cultivator asked in a strange tone. Yimo frowned. Why was it so funny? The attendant clearly had a good education and didn't scorn Yimo like everyone else. He said politely to Yimo, "Friend, Black Ice sect is 9-star sect. People aren't allowed to step foot within a 10,000-kilometer radius. Even if you know someone at Black Ice sect, they need to come find you, you can't go find them. Unless you have the handwritten document of the sect or a truth realization state Chen Bei's item, you won't be able to go visit Black Ice Mountain." Yimo was dazed. He just realized how ridiculous his idea was. He thought he would be able to see Luo Ying as soon as he came to Black Ice sect. Now he found out he couldn't even get within 10,000 kilometers of her. Seeing Yimo in a daze, the waiter knew that Yimo wasn't here to buy anything and shook his head before turning to leave. Yimo quickly pulled him and asked, "Are all the 9-star sects this strict?" The waiter saw Yimo's desperate look and sighed. "Not only 9-star sects but even the 7 and 8-star sects are also very strict. If you had arrived half a year earlier, you might have had a way." "What way?" Yimo asked. The waiter said, "There was a South Peace City cultivator social at South Peace City. Many core disciples of sects came there to converse about cultivation. Black Ice sect people went too. If you were lucky and met a Black Ice sect disciple who was easy to talk to, he might help you pass on a message." Yimo thought and immediately took out 100 top-grade spirit stones and gave them to the waiter. "May I ask when that social will be held next?" The waiter quickly replied, "Once every 3 years, the next one will be in 2.5 years, still here in South Peace City." Then, the waiter gave Yimo a jade slip. "I'll give you a map of South Peace State map, it has everything detailed." Yimo took the map and murmured, "I still need to wait 2.5 years. "No, that won't do." The waiter shook his head and left. "You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.